she's a puppet, but
I mean, isn't
I
every president
mean,
isn't every president a puppet?
I mean, you can only you only you have your string. Like when Obama was president, he had 2 terms, and his hands were tied behind his back, and they deterred him every step of the way. So I mean, he was a great orator and a speaker, and he had a lot of good ideas, but a lot of his ideas didn't come to fruition because of the fact that you had so many blockers and haters. And that's going to be the same thing. You know how politics is, but she's going to make a move forward, than backwards. I mean, one step forward is better than 3 and 5, 10 steps backwards. Or even if you maintain at the pace that you're at, is better than going backwards. So I don't think she's going to be a detriment. I actually think Trump will be a detriment to this country. A lot of people don't think that. I don't know how people follow him or even believe a word that spews out of his mouth, because he contradicts himself in his own sentence. When he'll speak and say contradictory shit right in his own sentence, talking about eating dogs and cats and shit when they ask him a serious subject. I'm like, what kind of
That's been the running joke since last night. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's what, like I said, man, I think there's something to be said in positivity, something to be said in attitude, because like I said, we all feel doomed, right? If this dude gets back into the White House, but it's like, I feel like there's, whatever ideals or whatever, like there's something to be said about attitude and motivation and positivity. So what's up, Miss Britt? What you think? Are you on the road? Very little, very little. Are you in the car?
Hold on a second. Hold on. Can you hear me now?
There you go. There you go.
Okay. So my whole thing is about competencies. If you paid attention to the debate last night, when Trump was asked a question, he couldn't stay on topic. And it's kind of reminded me of like a middle schooler who's unprepared for a presentation and talks about everything else than the actual question at hand, because he didn't have competency in the subject matter. And so that matters as a leader, because you need to know at least big picture, because let's not get it twisted. The president of the United States does not run the government. The president of the United States makes the decisions. So you need someone who at least has a familiarity with the topics, the subject at hand, the platform, all the issues. You need someone who is competent, who knows the history, who knows how to make decisions, not someone who is just like, I'm the ruler of the free world, so, just listen to me. And it's like, you have to trust a leader, and you only trust a leader if they know what they're talking about. You're not going to get in the car with someone who never took a driving test. Why should we listen to someone who never went to law school, who never studied the law, who doesn't understand it? And then he's speaking for millions of women. He has no idea what he's talking about killing children, babies, past 9 months. He has no idea what he's talking about. And I'm sick and tired as a female, as a woman, to have old white men make decisions about what I should do with my body. Like, I'm sick and tired of that. And I'm not even just talking about pregnancy. I'm talking about things like Project 2025 that's set to get rid of IVF treatments. I'm a woman over the age of 35. If I don't produce enough viable eggs, so you mean to tell me then you're going to take away my only option for having children because you don't agree with that option? I don't like that. And then secondly, we just have to understand that it's our local and federal government that we need to be more concerned about than the president of the United States. And I keep saying this, like, if you're feeling like, oh, bleak and all of this stuff, then just like make sure that you're paying attention to your local government, who your state senators are, who your representatives are, because they're going to be making the decisions that impact where you live. So just because one state does things one way doesn't mean that you and your family have to live that way. So make sure that you advocate for you and yours. Like, all of us are just worried about, oh, what happens to the entirety of the United States? We can't control what happens in California if you live in New York. You can't control what happens in New York if you live in Minnesota. But what you can do is you can control what happens in your own city by understanding what your local government is doing for you. And I think the debate was disappointing. Like, it was disappointing because I would have rather see two competent people have a debate instead of one competent person and a buffoon. But, you know, I digress. Just make sure that you understand how the government works and that the president is not the one running the government. He's the decision. She's the decision maker. So that's it.
Yeah. Well, you know, you've been very vocal about that over these past couple weeks, and I think that's becoming more and more of a stronger narrative that people are maybe finally understanding about, you know, how that works or whatever the case may be. You know, I think a lot of us have now been on this earth long enough to know that the president is really nothing more than a pawn, or, you know, I hate to use the word puppet. I know, Swerve, you were talking about how other nations were going to look at her, you know, in these UN meetings or whatever. But I mean, other countries have had women presidents now for some time. So
Yeah,
I don't
that's what
know.
I was going to say too.
Yeah, I don't know if that's just because of the fact that it's the United States and was said to be the powerhouse, and now are they going to look at it funny? But like I said, other countries have had women presidents for some time now. So, but the chat going crazy, yo. Like I said, this is definitely you talking people quit friendships, all kind of stuff over political stuff. Let's get back into some music, yo. Our first guest should be joining us here pretty soon. And again, shouts to CL handling their business today. So appreciate y'all pulling up, man. Like I said, interesting times for sure. One more time, some new Alchemist right there, Alchemist and Schoolboy Q. That one is Ferraris in the Rain, and again, I think that's going to be coming off. Actually, so that says it's from the album Genuine Articulate. So, like I said, I think that's the name of the project that's coming our way for Alchemist. Like I said, but that dude's on a crazy run right now. It was funny. I don't know if y'all familiar with Big Hit out here. You know, Hit Boy's dad, as we've been kind of hearing him back since he got out of prison and whatnot. He didn't know Alchemist was white. I thought that shit was funny, but keep this one out, y'all.
You got it, mine on mine. Got me running on this strong line. Rolling, yeah, that whip so tight. Can't understand how you get so far. Cause you one of them, and I go with them. Baby, pull up and I will follow. You got me sipping like a genie in a bottle. It's about to go away, oh shawty. It's your life, do it your way. You the life of the party. You know I'm trying to do it your way, oh. Cause you one of them, and I go with them. Baby, pull up and I will follow. You got me sipping like a genie in a bottle. It's about to go away. This is for my number one. This for my baby. This is for my number one. I might go, but you get me right. This is for my number one. This for my baby. This is for my number one. I might go, but you get me right. You hit the scene, they get rowdy. You kill a lobby. We know they hating, but they still on your body. It's your walk, it's your talk, it's beyond me. Baby, you the mean it. Just put your tears on my shoulders. I pull you close a long time, I'm a warrior. I be your soldier, up like a coaster. Whips in a whole yard. If it's queen things, I'ma go hard. I do it all for my baby. You with the boys, cause I'm wavy. I don't see no other lady. It's about to go away. This is for my number one. This for my baby. This is for my number one. I might go, but you get me right. This is for my number one. This for my baby. This is for my number one. I might go, but you get me right back.
All right, new vibes. Swerve. I know you said you might have heard that one. So I'm not sure if DJ Kanai's out your way, but I do know the artist Donnell Valentine. He's out to South Bronx. That's him featured on there. That is the song Now What the F, you know what I mean? Did we play that on the call before, Swerve, or just something that came through your pipeline already?
I think we playing that on my network on my station. This is like early in the year. That's what I'm saying. I was like, why that sound familiar? I think you've been at my network already, and it was been played in rotation early in the year.
Oh, I were.
Who
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that?
Hella samples in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, wait, who was that?
That was DJ Kanai featuring Donnell Valentine.
Okay, man.
So, like I said, I was trying to look up who DJ Kanai. I couldn't really find much, but Donnell Valentine is out the Bronx. But a dope joint. Shout out Chris Whammy. Sent that one through actually a while back to me. We just actually started putting that one in rotation on the hot spot in Midnight Grooves with the fam DJ Jam. So, but yeah, dope joint I thought. You know what I mean? And again, yep, exactly. Make me want to hear LL. So, speaking of the LL, did y'all dive into the LL album? Did y'all like it? Force out now. Did you get your vinyl? Did you get your CD? Or did you hear it in passing? Y'all motherfuckers is asleep today. What's happening?
Nah, I like
that political shit got y'all down, man. Let that shit go.
LL Cool J was hard as hell.
What's up, David?
Oh yeah, now the Q-Tip production was awesome. The one thing I noticed, I mean, he had some fire features, Snoop Dogg and a bunch of other ones, but I liked that every song was under 4 minutes. It was like 3-minute tracks, and I like that more and more artists are doing that. I don't like the long 6-minute tracks anymore. I think it's possibly because of our attention span, but I like when it's like 3 minutes. You give me the hot instruments, you give me two verses, and that's good enough. But I liked it overall. Q-Tip did a good job on that album.
Did you have any particular ones that stood out to you?
You know what, the first one, because I love that movie, The Warriors, with Snoop Dogg. It's something, The Spirit of Cyrus.
Yep,
that one really resonated with me.
Yeah, without a doubt. No, that one was hard too.
I
like that run it back. I thought Run It Back was dope. Getting Q-Tip on the little vocals too.
He was spitting.
Hey man, I told you if people like the initial ones that he put out, they was gonna like this. If they didn't like it, they wasn't gonna like this. Q-Tip Q-Tip did his thing.
I just sent you, Raymond, the Montego remix, and I
I was actually gonna play that up next. Did anybody else make a remix to that Digiwaxx competition there? All right, I'll take that as a no. Let's run it. This is your remix right here though.
Yeah. I use AI to sample Around the Way.
Oh, I can't even play that shit there, dog. Come on. That's
what?
Cheating.
No, listen to it.
All right.
Well, they didn't have an instrumental Around the Way Girl. I guess that's why nobody never sampled it. You'll see what I'm saying.
All right, peep game. Montego remix from Carol Doche, Wiz Khalifa again. Digiwaxx was leading that charge for the remix challenge. So we'll see if Spot gets some bread out of this. What's happening?
What up, whoa, it's your boy. They don't play with Carol Doche.
Boy, I gotta let you know. Yeah, you real, yeah, you mine.
I ain't mad at that. Ain't mad at that one bit. I do feel some kind of way because you use AI though. You know what I'm saying?
No instrumental. I know Marley Marl did that beat, but it's no instrumental. So I just took the vocals out with AI.
Got you. Okay. And what? Logic? You use Logic for that?
Hold on. I'll tell you right now. Made it right here. Yep, Logic X. Yep. And then the thing is now with Logic, bro, it's so crazy. That's why you got to stay on this technology. The samples, it matches up with the tempo of the song. Like it's crazy. So the sample comes right in there, bro. So all the records, the DJs got the power for the remixing because they know the music. If you know the music, bro, you can go back now and put anything in and it matches right up.
Has anybody dived into Serato Studio? Has anybody played with that?
Straight drag and drop. Yeah, I used it when it first came out. It's dope. It's real easy. It's not that complicated. Well, maybe because I already use a lot of different DAWs and stuff, but it's just simple. Serato is one of the most simplest DJ / production programs out there. Very, very, very easy to use.
Right on. Yeah. Well, not bad, though, Spock. I ain't mad at it. You know what I mean? I don't know how they're doing the judging. I think, because I know T-Rex said he wanted to submit some. I think they stopped the submittals as of September 1st. I don't know if that has been
I think September 1st was as far as I know, September 1st was the cutoff point. And I don't know if they extended. I don't know how many submissions they got in, but I don't know. We'll see.
Did you get your submittal in before then, Spock?
Whatever CLM put out, they said it was the 7th. So whatever that deadline was, mine was turned in on the deadline for Digiwaxx. So I don't know beyond that, but you know, I just want to hear what everybody else came up with, because you know, I think the record is maybe like a pop record. I looked at the numbers, and they released a video 2 weeks ago. It got 1 million views, then Red one, so it looks like it's gaining momentum. But I figured, you know, to take a little turn with it. So you know,
yeah, because she's an international artist, right? I forgot where she was from, but nonetheless, happy belated to Wiz Khalifa too, man. He just had a birthday, so cheers to another turn around the sun. Once again, one more time, shout out to Kermit if he's still on. Happy birthday. I'm not sure if he tapped off or not, but and again, happy birthday to anybody getting down. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what's good. We wish you luck, Spock. Hopefully you get some bread out of it. You know what I mean?
One resident describes her horrifying experience when she first realized the complex was on fire.
Well, I woke up to go get me a cold pop, and then I thought somebody was barbecuing. I said, oh Lord Jesus, it's a fire. Then I ran out. I didn't grab no shoes or nothing, Jesus. I ran for my life.
Spirit heavy, you look like the worms in my head. Space width in a turn in my bed. Still ride with the chrome on the wheels. Be with me, baby, baby, be with me, baby, be with me, baby, be with me, baby. I can't tell you how I'm feeling right now, but the cold heart drip down from my neck to the ground. I'm outside with my city right now, though. I'm face down in the trenches right now. I'm finna buy another round for what's bound come. I've been working too hard, I deserve fun. Flexing with them in the night, I deserve sun. Give me that fire, give me that hoop, finna burn some. I won't show them that my spirit hefty. You look like the worms in my head. Space width in a turn in my bed. Still ride with the chrome on the wheels. Be with me, baby, baby, be with me, baby, be with me, baby, baby, be with me, baby. I'm contemplating the extent to which I play the game and figure how to give them keys when they don't know my name. Could put down mans like Alicia, let this face serve the game. It's formula to the blow up, but I prefer to change. See through perspective of the helpless, wrap my little fingers. Then let this millie belt like singers on my pinky ring. See, here's the thing, when you connected to a dream that you die for, start doing things to get to finish, even in the shadow. No thing is flawless seems. Living in dry states, so my pockets need a little cream. I'm beating on the door with smile to show my golden teeth. Ain't let me in, so I went round the back with mud all on my feet. The door was locked, so I scaled up a tree with cans of gasoline. Say where the chimney, found that bitch and started pouring kerosene. Sparked the lighter I just got from down the street at Day Supreme. Burn, baby, burn, tears and eyes, vision blurred. Never thought that what they think of me ain't even my concern.
All right, we played that girl a couple weeks back. I think we played the video to her colors thing, but Samara Sin, that is her latest Chrome. People kind of somewhat making the Doja Cat comparisons, you know what I mean? But she definitely a dope vibe. You know, I was reading up her story. She's a bit of a army or military brat coming up, so she kind of all over the place. But now out here in LA doing a thing. But dope vibes, you know what I'm saying? So like I said, anytime we can get some music from some women that ain't talking about their pussy or whatever, I'm always here for it. You know what I'm saying? So that's just me though.
Speaking of that, can I say something real quick?
Please
you
do.
Send
Please
me that
do.
Dochi. I asked for that Dochi, and the reason why I asked is because y'all played something last week, and I was like, all right, you know what? Let me check this out because I've seen a couple people talking about it. And let me say this, TDE has a great reputation, and
Yes,
that needs to be admired. It needs to be respected. It needs to be recognized. Thought the shit was dope. Good production. I heard too much Nicki Minaj in the voice. Like there's
the
influence
style.
there. We can get over that. I think that she needs to say more. I notice a lot of like younger folks, they like to curse a lot. It almost feels like overcompensating for who they really are. But outside of that, man, I thought that shit was dope, man. So I want to salute y'all for playing that because I've heard her name in passing, but I never gave it a chance. Y'all played it last week, I think it was, and heard some people talking, so that's why I wanted to hear it. But yeah, it's a pretty dope record.
Yeah, no, I agree. And even furthermore, what you're saying about TDE, you know what I mean? We got to give them credit for their roster. And even with her, I heard her name bubbling probably 2-3 years ago. And other people were starting to say like, yo, we want to work with Doechii. We want to work with Doechii. So I think it was becoming one of those things that she was starting to step out and at least build her networking up. But, you know, we're always complaining about lack of artist development. To your point, I think TDE took their time with her appropriately and like put it out. You know, her rollout has been great. And she's given us so many different style records. So that's what I respect about it. Just the same. Like she about to be on a joint with like Katy Perry.
You're not the first one that said that though. You're not the first one that said that though. I heard somebody else say the exact same thing you said about her. So I'm like, yeah, she's making noise, especially since that the concert that Kendrick gave. So she made a whole lot of noise in that concert. So I think they definitely took their time to groom her well in order for her to say, look, you want to be a dope artist or you want to be one of those artists that's here today, going tomorrow? There's a difference.
But see, that's what TDE does, and that's why I respect them, because even that whole mixtape shit, like they don't believe in putting out mixtapes. Like it's there's a level of respect. I wish y'all could get Punch on there. I think I've mentioned that before, man, because I really would like to talk to him and just how he came into this, like developing these artists and like putting his foot down, like this is how we're gonna do this, and then the success that comes behind it, man. That they get all the respect, man. I mean, you can't do nothing but respect. That's why when certain people are doing big things right now and people don't understand why that's happening, it's happening because of artist development. It's happening because artists are being creative and being told to do their best. That's why they're in the positions that they're in, you know?
Agreed. I mean, and so yeah, we might have to put that play for Punch because I mean, I talk with Musa. So for the record, Musa's actually responsible for discovering Doechii. That's Punch's son. Punch is in an era of looking to kind of step away from all of this and leave it in Musa's hands. But like I said, Musa's actually the one responsible for Doechii, which is cool as far as at least from a discovery standpoint. Because like I said, they're out of the West, she's out of Florida. And you wouldn't even really know that, I don't think, even though, you know, I guess she relates to her, she calls herself the Swamp Princess or whatever. But you know, aside from that, like I said, that roster over there, people sleep on. You know what I mean? So but much respect to that TDE crew, no doubt. So see what's happening. Hope y'all well, man. Again, interesting mood today. You know, everybody been also weird type fish, but it's all good. Like I said, someone put it in the chat. We don't start complaining and talk about politics till it's presidential time when we really should be more concerned about it all the time. Deep game.
I mind my words because they're gonna last forever. But I also speak my mind because it's gonna last forever. 100 years later and the sky is recording me. say sorry, but I don't wanna be a dog no more, dog no more. Staring at your eyes brought me back to life. Girl, stay by my side, I'll bring your dreams to life. First we fantasize, then we realize. I see us fly private to an island, just vibing. Alright, if the vibe is fit, then right. Come spend the night at mine. If the vibe is fit, then right. Come spend the night at mine. And I swear to take my time. Come spend the night at mine. Show that we could go all night. Come spend the night. I know, I've been quiet for a bit. People like Stone, don't you do that shit again. One thing's for sure, I'ma drop another hit. We all know that I don't ever miss. Come in, shorty, let me tell you this. I'ma keep it tall, you the one I won't be with. We both grown, I'ma say it like it is. I'm straightforward, baby, hop up on this. Staring at your eyes brought me back to life. Girl, stay by my side, I'll bring your dreams to life. First we fantasize, then we realize. I see us fly private to an island, just vibing. Alright, if the vibe is fit, then right. Come spend the night at mine. If the vibe is fit, then right. Come spend the night at mine. And I swear to take my time. Come spend the night at mine. Show that we could go all night. Come spend the night at mine.
New Planet Giza right there at Mines. They just dropped the project. The Sky's Recording Me. 100 Years Later, Volume 1. They always a vibe, you know what I'm saying? So, dope vibes. Any thoughts, any takers? We're just vibing today. Keeping our energy up, positivity. You know what I'm saying? We ain't staying down. Though I know a lot of things kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? But
that joint was groovy. That joint was groovy.
Yeah. Planet Giza always a dope little vibe, man, no doubt. So, but yeah, hope everybody's well. You know, I think C's tapping in, but not quite fully there with us yet. Again, went to a music meeting today. Go push some energy, see what's happening. I got a guest coming in from a DJ out of Chicago today. You know, we've been having the adult contemporary hip hop conversation quite a bit here recently. So, he's actually pushing the issue at the award show. So he'll be joining us here shortly as well. Peep this one out, y'all. All right, so that first joint, some West Coast flavor, Mozzie and Raven Justice, Light On. Mozzie just dropped a new project. Happy for him, staying out of trouble since getting out of jail. And that latest one right there was Quadri, Can You Blame Me? Artist out of Baton Rouge, as a matter of fact. I don't know if he's signed with Dreamville or not, but I saw they were promoting him, which is kind of what made me go dive off into the record. So he's got a new album that's going to be dropping the end of this month as well. But dope vibes. He'll represent for Baton Rouge. Quadri is the name, Quadry. So, one more time again, man. Hope everybody's good. You know, the interesting mood, like I said, people get in these funny times with this politics and whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was gonna ask. I'm just getting free, y'all. So, I was gonna. What happened earlier? Was it a conversation about the debate last night or something?
Yeah. That's exactly what it was, bro. You know, like I said, the debate. You know, it's just one of them things. Like, I think people are what's the word? Pessimistic. You know what I mean? As it's looking a little bleak moving forward, what's gonna happen?
Oh my God! Listen, man. Nobody has the crystal ball. Both candidates. It is what it is, man. But There's no way in hell that shit's gonna dampen my mood. Fuck that. Them people is doing whatever they doing. The country has got to fix itself some way, somehow. All you can do is just get money, take care of your family, spread love. There's not much more.
It sounds like I'm glad I missed it. I was DJing in a strip club last night when that shit was on. I'm glad I missed it. Goddamn.
Yeah, I saw part of it. I saw part of it. It's all these jabs, and my problem is why is the country not willing to work together to fix shit? Because shit is fucked up. It seems like everybody's just, we're not trying to talk about working together. So it's a big shit show.
Trump don't want to work together. Trump want to take over and run shit.
The haves don't want to work with the have-nots. They want to keep the haves to themselves.
See, but here's where, like I said, we talk about the attitude because Kamala Harris, whatever, she talking about incorporating everybody. She ain't just trying to fill her cabinet with all Democrats. She's an advocate of everybody working together to try to meet some balance. You know what I'm saying? Where like you were just saying, Trump trying to be a dictator and this is all gonna be his way. That's why, like I said, we can think how we feel about whatever, but there has to be something said about attitude and motivation and positivity towards some kind of change and some fresh new meat up in there instead of just some old white man. You know what I mean?
I mean, one thing he did say that I caught is he said other countries are like laughing at us. And I was like, well, that's probably the only thing he said that was right. America is a laughing joke. We're a joke to the rest of the world, damn it. The shit that we do.
Isn't it irony that they're laughing at us?
Part of us is because they're laughing at it because of him.
I was about to say, yeah, exactly. That when he said that shit, I'm like, well, nigga, look in the fucking mirror. Like, that's the reason why they laughing.
Kamala said it to him. She said all these countries, she said, I talked to all these world leaders and they are laughing at you. You are a joke. She looked at his face and said that to him.
Yeah.
But he repeated it. He repeated it as to say, like, nah, they're laughing at you. At Kamala. It's like, no, nigga, like, this shit is on you.
Yeah,
like,
he was doing a lot
that's
of
why
that.
These motherfuckers is laughing.
Yeah,
he was doing a lot of that. Oh, nah, it's you. No, you. If you're it. No, I'm it. You're it type shit. Childish shit.
Childish bullshit, man. Nobody has time. And I'm saying, we're still out here, it's bad, man. Like, I was in San Francisco. We spoke about that, how desolate, the city looked crazy. Destitute, bad. New York, everywhere in between. Money's not circulating. There's no real plan. There's no, basic jobs. People don't want the basic jobs. Labor's too high. Now they're talking about people stealing the cats and the ducks and eating them. I don't know what the fuck's going on. That shit sounds so crazy last night.
Yeah.
But we should not let that shit, touch our soul at all, man. We should be looking at that shit like, keep moving forward, period, man. None of that shit should really matter. We should be working with our local government. Shout out to Brittany because she had brought that up one time. And we had a great discussion about it. But we're still focused on shit that really it will affect us, but not like the way we think. It's our local shit and our personal shit we need to focus on.
100%. Word up, C. Thank you for coming on, being another good voice of reason. You know what I mean? Bring the positivity. You know what I mean? Like I said, it was a little somber in here, yo. You know what I mean? That's why it's like, oh man, people let that get to them.
What? I'll tell you this though. I have been feeling down to a degree. Like Frankie Beverly and Mays is like,
yeah.
I don't know, for some reason it's hitting me harder than I know we had James Earl Jones die, aka King Joffrey Jofa. We had young what's the name last week out of Atlanta passed away.
Yeah, Rich Homie
Quan. Another one. It's
been before that Fat Man Scoop, before that Beat King, it's been very, like I said, back to back to back to back type ish. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's like shit. But Frankie Beverly and Mays is like
a lot of life soundtrack right there. A lot of life.
Yes, a lot of it. So yeah, man. Rest in peace to him. And I'm here. I'm just leaving. Like I said, the radio station's crazy. I will talk about that in another break, but a lot going on. A lot of changes.
Word. Go ahead, Head Rush. What you talking about? I know you're gonna talk about your Bears. Don't do that.
So
All
now
right, we'll
without
come
them
back.
no touchdowns, he better not say nothing. He just need
Take
to
it off mute.
win quietly.
All right, Joe. Well, listen, we're gonna play another joint. We got our first guest of the day. And I don't want to mess up the name. We'll get that into it here in a second. But check this joint, and then we'll tap in with our first guest for New Music Wednesday today. You know what I'm saying? Lola Brooke, new music with Jeremiah. Which I think that one no one else. I like her, man. She been dope since she came out. I feel like they trying to give her a little bit more softer edge from when she first popped out. Swear, what did you
No,
mean by that?
they heard me. You know the hell what I said when I first said it when she came out with the first joint with the Foxy Brown joint. She came off too raw. So what I said, she must have had people in the studio, or she has someone to produce her vocally. Meaning, I don't know, told her, listen, you cannot come off too hard. You gotta soften up your voice. And I speak about frequencies. A lot of these artists don't be having the right people that produce them in the studio. They gotta understand sometimes you can't go with the voice you think you always use on every track, and every beat that an artist hear is not necessarily for them. People gotta understand that too. Oh, I like that beat, but nah, I don't think you right for this. And that's why sometimes some people be like, oh, they pick horrible beats. It's well, yeah, that's maybe the case, but yeah, that beat is not really for them. Oh, I like it. I'm gonna rhyme on it. No, you need to get something. And some people pick the best beats out of the world. They not the most popular people out there. But they pick the best beats and they just sound real good on them. So I said, yeah, this one, yeah, I take this record over that record she had before. What's the name? The U joint over the U record.
Yeah. Okay. So going to what you're saying though, do you put that on the artist or do you put that on the producer? Because we've had that combo before. The beat makers versus the producers. You know what I mean?
It's a little bit of both. Sometimes the studio they have the wrong people in the studio. Like people are deaf ear. That's what I call it. Deaf. People are deaf in their ear. They can hear, but they can't hear. And sometimes the producer can be deaf ear too, and also engineer. You know what I'm saying? That's why engineers sometimes, some people's records get mixed really, really fast and it sounds terrible. Sometimes you got to sit on a mix maybe for a couple of days, rest your ears, come back to it. Your head things totally different. And you hear like, damn, what the hell? That I done did that many a times. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Dre talks about it. Many people that really they're about their craft. They'll sit on sometimes they sit on a record too long. Sometimes they sit on a record to make sure it's perfect or damn near perfect. But it could be a little bit of both. It could be the artist, it could be the producer. Sometimes the wrong people's in the studio. I really feel it should only be the engineer, producer, and the artist. That's it. The rest of the people need not to be there. Do all that smoking and drinking. Do that elsewhere. Come to the studio, let's work. Forget all that clown and all that picture taking and all that shit. Maybe you could have a videographer in there to document the process. And you could use it on social media of today. But other than that, all them other people that ain't doing nothing to the record, they ain't doing nothing. Get all that. Get them out of here.
Word. I agree. All right. Well, the nice segue to catch how an actual artist feels about that as well. I don't want to mess the name up, yo. taRTokii, is you there? I know you've been I know you tapped in about a song ago or whatever. Are you still with us? And again, try not to get the name wrong, brother.
Yes, sir. I'm here. What's going on, Digiwaxx family? What's going on?
How you living, man? Thank you for joining us today. Are you able to turn your camera back on?
Yeah, I am.
All right.
What's going on, everybody?
Chilling. And then if you are able to, brother, if you could turn it landscape, if you could turn it the sideways for us.
Sideways.
There we go. Boom.
Got you.
Where you checking it from? You look like you in New Orleans or something like that. Where you at?
Nah, I'm actually in Crown Heights in Brooklyn, New York. I'm actually at work.
Okay. All right. Well, man. Well, let's get your thoughts on the artist producer talk. Did you hear the combo right there?
Yes, sir. I did.
So what's your process in the studio?
So me as an artist, I'm a producer and an engineer as well. So I definitely get the conversation about, coming into the studio to be ready to work. I've worked with a lot of different artists who have shown efficiency in their discipline when it comes to their ethic and the effort that they put in when they come in terms of, being prepared, having their material ready, having their beats ready. I deal with, different types of artists. So I'll say like the groups that come with the artist sometimes can, steer away their attention and their focus. And of course, indulging into their activities, whether that be, getting, functionally ready, like endeavoring into smoking and drinking or, having females there. So I like artists that come in there efficiently ready to work and prepared. Honestly, that's really how I go, especially me as an artist as well. I like to go to my sessions and I like to lock in. I don't like to have too much people there. I'll have a few people there, maybe people who, inspire me or motivate me or could help direct the direction in whatever the song or the material that I'm working on. That's really how I go about it.
All right, word, man. So you definitely about the work. You definitely about the action. You know what I'm saying? I think you bring up a good point because there's a lot of people that come with the entourage, and I think you get a 6 hour studio session. 4 or 5 of that is smoking and drinking, and you only get about an hour's of work. You know what I mean?
I agree. I've seen it happen multiple times. Sometimes even when I'm there and then we only get one song done and it's 5 hours being booked. So I know how that is. I could be relevant to what the conversation is. But
So are you engineering your own records?
yes, I engineer majority of my own music. I have a team that I work with, my engineer team that's also a part of my camp. So I only work with like about 2 or 3 other engineers besides myself. And I only record on my beats or my production team beats.
All right, word, man. Well, again, thank you for joining the call, family. Give everybody the background, man. And then let me please make sure I'm not saying your name wrong, please. How you say that exactly?
Nah, you said it right. taRTokii.
Okay.
Toki meaning time of opportunity in Japanese. So that's the reason why I fully embrace a lot of the culture that, influences the hip hop culture in our communities, whether, whatever skin or race color that you are, that doesn't matter to me. I go off of energy. I'm taRTokii, A&R, producer, engineer, and master artist. That's how I like to go about. I let everybody know when I'm introducing myself. That's how I introduce myself, as the artist, the producer, the engineer, and the A&R. So, I've been focused mainly solely on producing my career to the next level, which is, making the right network connections, doing the right platforms, putting in the right mechanics and analytics and studying where everything goes in terms of the process. Because this is a machine that is nonstop. It doesn't stop. When you go to sleep, music doesn't stop. So I like to thrive myself off of energy and just drive. That's really my background. I've been doing this for about 5 to 10 years professionally now. Been making music for about 13 years. I used to be in a marching band. I used to be on TV in terms of doing independent film work. I was into dancing. I auditioned for America's Got Talent in 2007. I've worked with recently 4-1 Tata Jane Potter Power Rich, which is one of the first drill groups. I was their engineer right before we signed a multi-million-dollar deal with Republic. After that happened with 4-1, I kind of like stirred away from the engineering process and started going on my production phase, which is getting placements with B-list and A-list artists. I've been working with people like Mr. Chicken, Envy King, Capella Gray, Pressure, just some names in the industry that are, have some popularity and some buzz going on with them, and just getting my foot right with networking as a producer and an engineer, and then as an artist, learning from these people, as well as learning from the engineers and the other producers and people like yourselves who give me jewels and the OGs, because, you only learn from the wise. And that's how I like to keep myself situated. So that's just some part of my background about what I do.
All right, we could dig it, man. I could dig it. So taRTokii, I like what you said. Toki is time and opportunity.
Time of opportunity in Japanese.
Time of opportunity. Okay. I could dig it. All right. Well, with that being said, man, let's get into this first record. Tell us a little bit about What You Like 2.0.
So What You Like is definitely a vibe of just a good time and energy, and then also understanding what it is to be in a relationship with any type of woman that you understand what they like in terms of their traits, their background, their, what's the word? Accolades. Because like right now, this generation I feel is prided off of toxicity and prided off of social media attention. So like it's a world that we live in that is almost a simulation. So you gotta give people hypnotization. You gotta give people what you call, in my words, it's like alternatively clout, right? Because like if you're popular now, if you have an image, if you have a persona that everybody can relate to, if you want people that wants to be you, if you want people that want to talk like you, if you want people that want to be you, then that's basically how this is basically explained. It's what you like in all forms, and it's a form of when I was with a female relationship and I understood all the toxic traits that she liked, and going through all of the phases and tribulations of a relationship, and then just grasping it from that angle on a fun tip, and just making everybody enjoy themselves.
All right, work. taRTokii hanging out, man. Good talker. I could dig it. This one, What You Like. Check it out, y'all. Energy. taRTokii. That one is What You Like. Is he still on? Yeah, I think I see him right there. taRTokii, you still with us? I'm just gonna call you Toki for short. Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm here. I was just getting the call. I was trying to get that out.
Okay, word. All right, dope joint, man. Dope. So did you produce that one?
Yeah, I did. I co-produced that one with an artist and a producer from Trinidad. She sent me over the beat, and I just chopped it up and dealt with it how I dealt with it.
So, question, because the song is very short. Mindset behind that, because I feel like that could be longer.
So, we are in the day and age of a society where the attention span is about 3 to 7 seconds, right? So I've been studying different formulas from different artists, ranging from Pharrell to Travis Scott, Big L as one of my influences, Lil Wayne as my influences, and Playboy Cardi, and some of these newer modern Generation X artists, and seeing the formulas and tactics that they implement on their styles and their, product. It also influences the way on how to grasp people at a short attention span, and just getting straight to the point when it comes to what I want to be delivered, as in the impact or the effect of the song.
Okay. All right. Toki kind of deep with it. I ain't mad at it.
Yeah, it's only because people got a short attention span, like for real. So you gotta get straight to the point. The song is 1 minute and 35 seconds, and people who put 2 verses and 3 verses on these songs, people really don't tune in that long. Like, people are waiting to get straight to the point, get active, get the momentum jumping, the adrenaline pumping instantly. So that's kind of where I aim with my music in general, because I pride myself on versatility and diversity. So adapting to all of the crowds that I am a part of and the personalities that I have is a big part of why I make the music the way I do, because a lot of my songs are short because of that same reason of getting straight to the point and making something that's catchy enough to give people to run it back. Like, oh, no, I need to hear that again. And I need to hear it again because it's so short. I want people to want more. So.
Okay. All right. That's I can respect that, because I've heard on the other aspect from the streaming strategy, the shorter songs make you go back to them like that. But I could dig it. I could dig it.
That fits all in the conglomerate of it,
All right, cool, man.
The streaming aspect, like making short songs so people, love it more.
Yeah.
Hey, Ray,
someone
I want to ask
put in
question.
hold on real quick. Someone put in the chat the Uzi dance vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like with that.
facts.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead, Swerve.
No, I just wanted to ask him, do he make intros and outros for his music since they're short? DJ
Yeah.
aspect.
Yes. To answer the question, majority of my songs that I have now are the newer age, the style that I've been making my music. They have like short intros and then, you know, somewhat build ups and bridges to the intro hooks or, you know, the pre hooks or the main hooks. Cause like I like to give people different styles and different flows when it comes to that short attention. Cause I do have longer songs, you know, I have longer songs with different styles, but that specific song was, you know, only made for that type of reasoning, which short and sweet, get to the point. So yeah, I pride myself on trying to give myself an intro and letting people know who I am. So yeah, I do, to answer your question.
All right, word, man. We got taRTokii hanging out, y'all. Anybody got any questions for you, mans? We got another joint we're gonna get into, but if anybody has any other questions, I definitely respect the fact that you got your hands in all aspect of it, as far as from the artistry to the engineering to the producing. I think it only helps your cause to how you potentially want the final outcome of a song. You know, we were just talking about that with the Lola Brooks situation, because when she first came out, it was, you know what I mean? And then, you know, they smoothed her out, you know what I mean? And it's definitely, I think, worked to her favor with the sounding of the song. So that's why we were kind of asking the question of, do we put that on the producer? Do we put that on the artist? So you, I think, being in go fully in all aspects, I think works to your advantage and how you ultimately want the song and the end result, correct?
Yes, yes, it does. And shout outs to the Brook Camp over there. They do a great job with, you know, marketing her and trying to get her off the ground. So I can understand exactly, and I could be relatable to us being sad.
So I heard you mention Capella Gray because we had him on at the drop of his album. Did you get any placement on the most recent project?
Nah, we didn't get any placements yet with Capella, but we working on one. We sent them over a pack probably like I think at the end of August. So we'll see how that does within the next couple of days. I'll try to contact with one of my sources and see if, you know, he has any updated information on it. But like I said, I just did Mr. Chicken. I'm not sure if y'all familiar with Mr. Chicken. I just mix and master his whole album. We have a placement on track number 5, Better Than My Last, with Mr. Chicken. I just reproduced a couple of beats for Envy Kane. Polka, he's known as. He's also in the drill community of the New York rap scene. I've worked with Jay Guapo, have placements for him. He's another artist that is of Pop Smoke's camp. I've worked with Fabio. I did the first Woo Walk that Fabio produced with Sosa. And just recently now, I'm just trying to focus on some of the people that are coming out now out of New York, like Cash Cobain and Shawnee Bin Laden, you know, some of these people that are in this scene to get placements wise. But I'm also just trying to focus as an artist mainly because, you know, I got my songs and I'm ready to take off with my stuff. Everybody keep telling me I'm the key. Everybody keep telling me I got all the connections. I got the sound. I got, you know, the drive, the potential. It's just go time. It's green button time for me on everything, placements, producing, engineering. But I'm really focused as an artist right now.
All right. What's up? What's good, Cuddy?
Yo, what's going on, my boy? Cuddy coming from Jersey. You know what I'm saying? And Mr. Chicken, he from Jersey City, so I am familiar with who bro working with, and that's tough. You know what I'm saying? My question to you is, you know, being from the town, I know it's like what the typical trendy shit is, and that's not what you are. You feel me? You're different, you're unique. So how do you keep your community together with people that are like-minded and have the same style as you? That's like versus like all the shiesty shit and like the typical regular style stuff that we see up and down the town, Queens, Brooklyn, whatever.
Word. So much homage to you. Hope your day is well, King. Shalom, blessings. Shout out to you as well. I tried to implement versatility as best as possible and energy. You understand? Like energy is everything for me of jump. Like my first conversation, my first word with you, my first interaction with you. So like being the fact that I'm from the towns and I have a different style just on how I look, and then even my background of what I am in the I guess what I'm like looked at in the community, in the industry as the artist, as the producer and the engineer, people adapt to me because of my energy and the different things that I'm into. Like I said, I have multiple personalities that I attract and that I'm into, and I have people that I am close with that are in different communities of what you call entertainment and energy, the energy spectrum. So like tying all of them together is a goal for me because I am so many different things. Like I'm a dancer, I'm also acting, and when I'm making music, I'm implementing all of those styles and those worlds together. And the people that I'm around are also in those worlds, and they make music of different kind of cultures. Like I'm talking about the street culture, and then I have the pop culture. Then you got, of course, the Cash Cobain culture, which is the sexy drill movement. Just definitely being versatile. So all of the beats that I make, or all of the beats that I get on as an artist, or where I'm engineering, I try to also implement different styles. If I'm helping the artist write, something that could be similar or relevant to being fluently said, that would be a part of their song, or the beat, the momentum of the style, or whatever. So that's basically how I keep everything together, or help everybody stay connected, because it's just about energy. Energy is everything. So having knowledge and education on different frequencies, as one of the OGs mentioned earlier, is a big part of my whole dynamic.
All right, word. So this is really the energy that you bring and that everybody brings collectively that keeps y'all all together, no matter what type of fashion style y'all got. Pretty much is what you're saying. That's tough, bro. We definitely gonna tap in. You feel me? I'm around. You feel me? I do a brunch every Sunday on Flatbush. I'm around. So we're gonna definitely lock in and
say that. Shout out to you.
Word. Shout out to you, bro. Enjoy the rest of your day, bro.
You too, y'all.
Hell yeah. Well, listen, taRTokii, I appreciate you, brother, chiming in with us. I love the energy 100%. I'm a big believer just the same. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate just, what I mean? Sometimes we get this artist and they can't speak for themselves. So I can imagine, again, being in person, being in studio and catching the vibe with you personally, it's got to rub off on people, man. So greetings to you, no doubt, man. And definitely, if you can, if you're familiar with the chat, drop in your how people can follow you and whatever, if you got a website or emails where people want to get at you for other interviews, or if people just even want to collab since you're doing it all. You know what I mean? If you could drop that in the chat, we'll get at you. C, did you want to say anything, C?
Nah,
yeah.
I just want to say, good stuff. And, I know you're getting a buzz out here in New York already. So, shout out to our, the radio stations and the DJ supporting you here. And just happy to have you on, man. Just glad that you was able to join and just sort of just further what you've already started.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate the invite. I appreciate the love in the community, and definitely I'm out here, making a lot of moves. I got the song on Power 105 right now. We are definitely looking to collab with anybody and network with anybody. So my hand is extended to everybody here in this chat. I also have a studio. Shout out to Studio Kings. Those are my partners over there. We have a location out in Queens, and I would extend my hand out to anybody in the chat to come through. Show me what you're working with. Let's do something. Let's network. Let's make a beat. Let's get together and see where we could brainstorm. So yeah, shout out to everybody that here. Thank you guys for having me.
Yes, sir, man. Best to you. You know what I mean? Best of luck with everything like that. And again, stay believing in that energy, man, because it's good energy for sure. So feel free to stay on the call if you got time. Understand if you got to go. Sound like you're a busy man, no doubt. But again, if you are familiar with the chat, if you can drop your info in there so people can track you down, the gram, whatever, all right?
Yeah, we'll do. Definitely. I'm gonna drop everything. I'm gonna stay tuned in and hear everybody else, and definitely drop all the information that you guys will need to tap in with me.
All right, man. Bless up. Shout out Olskool Ice-Grē in the building. Gonna play a joint and then come right to you, brother. Thank you for your time. I know you tapping in from Australia, so I know we're on a whole another different time scale. So we're gonna play one joint and then we're gonna come right to you, brother. Thank you. He is messing with this LL Cool J album. I don't think there's a bad joint on there. You know what I mean? And perfect transition into our next guest. One time for Olskool Ice-Grē, represent for Chicago. One half of Abstract Mind State. I know I discovered you from the scam summit. I wasn't there, but I saw you take some pictures of people that I messed with. So I was like, I mean, let me see what's good. And so I like what you are diving into, fam, and because we've been having the conversation now for quite some time around adult contemporary hip hop. So thank you one for joining the call. You know what I mean? And
yes.
what was your take on the LL album? Did you take a listen to it?
Oh yeah, the LL album is crazy. Like I listened to it. I listened to it like 4 times the first time I listened to it, and I mean, totally impressed, man. The dude is sharp as he ever was. I mean, lyrically, he playing with a lot of new flows, and I personally love the Q-Tip production. You know, the Queens Connect that they did. You know, I watched several interviews where L said that he had a dream that Fife came to him in a dream, and that's what inspired him to holler at Tip. But you know, they both from Queens, so you know, and Tip as a producer, most. You know, some know, most don't, but Tip always was a super dope producer. So I just think it's crazy. The album is crazy. Like, it's very consistent. I love it top to bottom.
All right. So with that being said, talk a little bit about the I guess the efforts of what you're trying to push for at these award shows.
Right.
Because again, some people feel some type of way that the adult contemporary hip hop thing shouldn't be a thing. And then there's some people that are in favor of it. I'm definitely an advocate of it. Even beyond the award shows, I've been talking about the idea that like I feel it deserves a place like on traditional FM radio, and that's the tough part. You know, go ahead.
Yeah, that's one of my pushes. And actually, I just wanted to say that for people listening, this old school Ice-Grē with the long E sound, like Gree, not Gray. Even though I have on Gray, it's Ice-Grē. but anyway, all love though, all love. Everybody, you know, that happens often, so it's cool. But anyway, one of the things, like you said, one of the I guess components to me putting in such a hardcore effort to get this adult contemporary hip hop expansion on all award shows that have a category that they call rap hip hop. It's also radio too. I say the call letters ACH, adult, you know, just at radio stations. It should be call letters at radio stations. It should be a format. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people have had a lot of things to say, but come on, man, that's with anything. I don't take it personal. I don't get emotional because with expansion or anything close to something called change, some people freak out. Some people are stubborn. Some people they just don't want to grow or see things grow. And here's the reality of it all. We always holler this, man, let's just create our own thing, blah, blah, blah. I've read so many wild, interesting comments on social media since I've been on my run. And I just kind of laugh at it because first of all, the time that it takes to start, when you say start our own thing, we just do it ourselves. We always reaching out to other people. I just want to make it clear on your platform that I'm not begging anybody or the powers that be I'm not begging anybody for like to what I'm expanding. I'm not begging. My goal is to expand. I'm not even trying to change stuff because a lot of people are like, man, it's cool like it is. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, yeah. And if you don't consider yourself ACH or you not don't want to associate with it, just don't. It's almost like food or a store. Like you don't have to go to this store. You don't have to eat this food. Just choose a different food. But those varieties or those options are there for those who choose to eat a certain way or those who choose to buy clothing different from this store. I'm just trying to open up another store because everybody, shouldn't have to shop in the same store or eat the same food, so to speak.
Well, I think even beyond that, though, there's been the combo like, okay, how does like a new Common go up against, 310 Baby? Or, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like those metrics are just way different to where.
Yes. That's so that right there alone. So it started with my group. Like I say, I have to always stress that I've been using the term adult contemporary hip hop for over 20 years related to my own group's music, Abstract Mind State, which you mentioned as we came into the intro. Abstract, I always felt like our music was adult contemporary hip hop, and I put that label on it because we had this sound that always stuck close to the most traditional sound of hip hop, but it was something new, something different, something original. But at the same time, it held on to the true aesthetics of what we love as what we call real boom bap or traditional hip hop music. And I always felt that even then, like, you know, after we got brought back after 16-year hiatus, I felt like, man, we can't compete against the algorithm, like you're saying, of these popular internet or social media driven artists or rappers who are now filling up the rap hip hop category at award shows, radio stations, and stuff like that. So I was like, man, it's time for me to take this thing serious that I've been saying or calling branding my own group's music for so many years, and try to, you know, create change and expand. And my first step was I found out that I was able to do this, so I wrote a proposal. And that's why it's always attached to, yeah, I did the work, because I wrote the proposal and then I submitted it, you know, to the Recording Academy. I'm a voting member, you know, and I had their attention, you know, and they didn't move on it. And that's okay, because I don't really think it's over. And I'm not here to, you know, to bash the Recording Academy again. I'm a voting member and try to stay active in that world too. But I just kept going wherever else I saw a rap hip hop category. And then I presented it to something called the Hollywood Independent Music Awards. And they saw my vision. They accepted it. They implemented the category the same year I presented it to them. And I gave away, you know, I'm the one that gives away the award in that category. So it's pretty dope. So I'm just on, and then I found out that there's a whole lot of like-minded people that feel the same way as me, and why this is necessary, like yourself, that feel like this is a necessary expansion. I started finding out that it's a lot of legends and icons in hip hop that support me and actually openly show me love and start following me on Instagram, saying whatever you need, you know, bro, I'm in this with you. So I'm like, okay, this isn't just me, you know, who feel this way, because that's how I felt at one time. I felt like I was the only one that felt like this, and it was okay. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't my thing is don't get mad, do something about it. And that's what this is. That's what even me being on your show is, me doing something about this thing that I'm putting in the effort to make real across the board, you know.
But that's why I wanted to have you on, because we do a lot of talking. I mean, I think it's kind of the way of the world, right? Everybody will do a lot of talking, a lot of complaining, but not a lot of action behind it. So
not a lot of action.
I commend you for and even with this comment, DNA, I don't think this creates a division in hip hop. I mean,
let me. I'm sorry. Let me speak to that division in hip hop, because that's another thing. I as it went away, I saw it. I saw the comment and it was kind of fading away as I looked. But man, it's like people, before they dig into and that's why I'm on this platform. Information is key. It's about knowing a little bit more about it so you have a better understanding. Because most people only look at these clips or these clicks and the little pieces that have been put together of the various platforms that I've been on speaking, and they just start throwing their opinions out there real strong. This thing is not about a division. This is about inclusiveness. It's about creating. At one point, I used this example on another interview I did. I said at one point in time when they were building houses, it was only one door, and somewhere, somehow, some way, somebody said, we don't have to just have a front door. There can be a back door. And now it became two ways to get into this same space or this same house, right? So what I'm doing is expanding. It's not about like exclusiveness. I mean, excluding. It's about including, meaning like, okay, if everything is already like it is, I'm saying, okay, I'm not trying to fight that. That's one of those beat the dead horse kind of thing, and you just spinning the wheel, and that fight becomes long and crazy. Let this thing stay like it is, but let's expand it. Let's put another door on this house, right? So somebody like Common and Pete Rock don't have to compete against the same space of the artist,
Ice Spice or some shit like that.
Yeah, exactly. I tried to. I mentioned a lot of those artists on a few other things. I'm starting not to want to say their names to like seem like I'm bashing them, because that's not what I'm doing. But when you got people like Sexy Red, Ice Spice, or all of them, and they fighting, Common and Pete Rock, Why should they have to fight for that space? I even say, why should somebody like Joey Badass or Vic Mensa or Chance the Rapper have to fight for that space? You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying if their sound, everybody from like Rhapsody and new artists like me, Lil Sims, I even say Doechii, people like that, why should they have to fight for a space because they're consider themselves rap or hip hop, and they can't beat that popular algorithm or this online success that usually only lasts a summer or two. You know what I'm saying? And this art, this traditional sound of hip hop, which is the foundation, can't get in. So it's not about an age. I have to always reiterate that and beat that horse. Adult contemporary hip hop, ACH, this thing that I'm out here waving a flag for, is not about age. It's about the sound of the music. It's about the sound. And it should be room for another sound, because when we're dealing specifically with award shows or radio stations, unfortunately, over time, things has developed and they push and crush everything into one. I mean, and people try to say it's been different subgenres, blah, blah, blah. No, it hasn't. I don't know what's wrong with us. It's never been other subgenres. That we created those other subgenres as a community, as hip hop lovers. We start saying East Coast, West Coast, down south, trap, drill. We gave it those names. It's not an official title or official genre or subgenre at an award show. It's not an official genre or format at a radio station. So that's what I've been, that's my thing. I'm the person that's putting in the work to make it official. It's no longer, like you just said, a conversation. It's no longer just talk. We're going to make this real. And I feel like everybody who feel the same way, my goal is to like galvanize and unite all of us. And I'm creating several things or working on several things that's next steps in this. But the first step is just getting the information out there and seeing just how many people feel the same. And so far it's been great, regardless to the naysayers or the people that's just want to jump online and be the first negative person to go against whatever, you know what I'm saying, or whatever it is. Most of the people, I don't take it personal, I kind of laugh, but most of the people who have such negative comments to say under the post that had me on it, because I can't help but see it, because some of them at me, I go to their page and they have like 1,300 followers or something like that. And I'm like, okay, you just being a troll. You're not even trying to do. I'm talking about progress, expansion, and inclusiveness. And you just being stubborn and ignorant online, because unfortunately social media gives everybody a voice and they shouldn't have one.
Feel that 100%. I was tripping in the chat. Shouts out to Quantum. Is this the second time you've been on the call? I guess we had you on before with the Abstract Mind, trying to remember.
Oh, Abstract Mind State. Okay, Abstract. I've been on here with my group before. I don't remember being on. I don't remember being on here.
Quantum, you there? He might be tied up.
Okay,
But,
so they're saying Abstract Mind State. My group, me and my partner EP, we were on here as Abstract before.
Possibly. We've been doing this for close to 2025 will be 5 years. So
okay,
we first started this thing when everybody got stuck inside. So this became a weekly thing, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, maybe we did. I know we had a nice little press run with the Abstract Mind State album, shout out to Dream Still Inspired. That's the record that brought us back to at least brought me back to the forefront. It brought both of us back, but it brought me back as an artist, because I've been behind the scenes the whole time, working with several. So
word. You don't mind taking a couple questions? You good?
Yeah, super good. Yes, let's do that.
What's up, David? We can't hear you, man.
Can you hear me now?
There you go.
Okay.
Yep,
This is
yep,
interesting. I was saying peace. Peace, Olskool, Ice-Grē. This is a very interesting conversation.
I agree.
Yeah, no, definitely. This kind of makes me think like back in the days when you had that conversation with the Backpackers, maybe like the Sound Bombing, the Lyricist Lounge. You had the Talib Kweli, the Mos Def, those artists, and it's almost like conscious rap, conscious rap, and drawing like a line in the sand, like between the conscious rap and the more mainstream. Would you say? Would you agree with that conversation?
No, because I would say no, but kind of, sort of, but no, because it can be a mainstream artist if a mainstream artist is getting played. Like for example, like at one point in time, Kanye was getting heavy rotation, right? So somebody would consider him mainstream, but his sound was traditional hip hop. So he would fall under the ACH format, you know, and the way I'm approaching this. He would be adult contemporary hip hop, but he's also the biggest thing on radio, you know, speaking in the time that it was. You get what I'm saying? So no, it don't have to be just like underground or what they call what we all labeled as backpack and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So and somebody I saw a post jump up, a comment jump up there, and it said about the magazine started the East Coast West Coast thing. We're not talking about beef. I mean, just us as a community. And I mean you, David, I'm talking about Radio, Raymond, everybody who's part of the hip hop community. We branded these other genres. You know, we figured out the names, or some of the people who started that music, like the younger cats in Chicago who started drill music, you know, and the names trickle around. But again, it's never been a official, official name that was recognized at award shows or radio, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I just go ahead, David, finish.
Oh no, my fault. No, but thank you for that. That he's like an anomaly because when Kanye had things jumping off with the College Dropout and Through the Wire, he was on the radio, but yeah, he was conscious. So he was an anomaly. I can't think of too many artists that had it like that, where they draw the line between the mainstream, but yet was making conscious, substantial music and that wasn't, you know, like hurting the community with all that mainstream and commercialism. But it's fun. I'm glad you mentioned that. I can't think of too many artists.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, you got Kendrick, and I'm not talking about all the hype now, but think about when he came out. You know, he was one of those artists that was getting heavy love on radio, but was totally what I would call traditional hip hop or adult contemporary hip hop, because again, he just stuck to the boom bap aspect of rap and not necessarily chasing whatever the latest sound is to hype the algorithm, so to speak.
But see, I guess that's kind of where I have to draw back, and Raymond knows we've had these conversations before, is when do we draw that line, right? Kendrick is a perfect example because most people over time, and maybe because of an album like To Pimp a Butterfly, might put him in a category like that. But when he initially comes out, we're not putting him in a category like that. So where do we draw the line at this is contemporary versus this is not contemporary? And that's kind of where I sit with it. I think you start running into this kind of issue of, well, as long as there's not a certain sound here, then it's contemporary. Or as long as the content is a certain way, it's contemporary. What do you think is the way to draw the line?
And when you say draw the line, what line are we trying to draw? I just want to be clear. Like,
so I was on a call, but you mentioned before I was on that call, you said the more traditional sounding, right?
Right.
Like I said,
sound, yes.
When y'all bring up Kendrick, someone might be like, Kendrick has a more traditional sound now in hindsight. But when he initially came out, go ahead.
When Kendrick first came out, like we talking Section 80 and those kind of records, those are straight up like boom bap hip hop records, traditional hip hop. And he still does that type of music. It's just that as an artist, he's gotten broader. As an artist, he started experimenting with more sounds and being a little bit more creative. And if you think about it, when we first were introduced to rap music, or now I'm not going all the way back to, I'll say when rap music started to be the number one genre of all of them. We used to hear Nice and Smooth and Gangstar and all these people like that. So I'm not saying that it's only for them. I'm saying that's what I mean when I say the traditional sound. I'm talking about that good soulful boom bap, whether it be street or whether it be just a storytelling from a fictional or non-fictional standpoint. Because I even look at the guys like Griselda. The whole Griselda clique is adult contemporary hip hop. They got that real street, underground hip hop, and they're loved by the masses. They're not on your favorite radio station or anything like that. But I'm just saying, I'm very specific with my thing, and I'm talking about award shows and the format. So somebody like Griselda or somebody like Denzel Curry or something like that music can be awarded, recognized, and awarded because it's not up against the algorithm. It's about the sound that this is. Adult contemporary hip hop is about the sound.
But like I said, I definitely understand that. But something that blew up Kendrick was swimming pools.
Right.
At that time, people would not be saying that was. And understand, I'm 44, so I'm not saying this from a young mind. People would not have said that swimming pools was a traditional boom bap hip hop sounding song, and there are a lot of tracks on that Good Kid, Mad City, which, just by the way, because I want to be clear, that's the album that brought me over to him and turned my head around to him. But there are a lot of sounds on that are not traditional boom bap sounding. So that's what I'm saying. Like, when it comes to why I have an issue with calling this, and again, these are opinions. This is your mode. This is
no doubt.
Life Wonders mode. Is Q-Tips. When I have an issue with it is because that's why I said, where do we draw the line? Because in hindsight, we can definitely say, yes, Kendrick is a person who is respected and traditionally done hip hop. But at the time, if this is a new artist that sounds like that, we don't necessarily say that. And so if we're trying to, if this person is, let's say swimming pools is a part of the algorithm, right?
Right.
Well, now he's entered the algorithm with that song. But now we've all heard and realized over the years, yes, this is a guy that's traditional. But at the time, we're not going to be calling that contemporary hip hop. And to me, that's where I don't agree with the genre or category, because you start to move into, well, where's the line drawn with this being contemporary hip hop? Where is it drawn where it's not? And I think it kind of keeps people from discovering things. We talk about the LL album. That LL album should be heard by everybody, but it shouldn't be presented to a younger ear as, well, this is an older cat, so you might not like it. No, go check this shit out regardless of
without a doubt.
And they know me in here. I don't agree with boom bap categories. This is hip hop, and I don't agree with those because I live in Houston. So just for context, I grew up around a lot of people who they categorize things and stay away from things and put things in a box, and it keeps them away from actually hearing. And then the internet comes around, and all of a sudden everybody's exposed to everything, and then they realize, oh my God, I actually do like a lot of this stuff that when the internet wasn't there, they wouldn't have liked. And so to me, a lot of these categories just kind of keep people away from things rather than bring them in.
Okay, so I'm doing exactly the opposite of what you're saying, because I keep noticing you using, the word divide or in the box and all of that. What I'm saying is that's what's going on already. And again, let me reiterate, I'm specifically talking about at award shows and radio. Like, I'm not talking about just across the board, period. I'm talking about being recognized at award shows. So what I'm saying is expanding the rap hip hop category. The word is expand, to include, not exclude, but include this traditional hip hop sound, because the entities that wave the flag or bear the rap hip hop category, they don't leave any room for any other sound but what's popular, what's trending, what's social media driven, what the algorithm is saying. When there's millions of other songs and artists that's amazing, that represents the culture, that doesn't even get a chance, like you're saying, to be heard. What I'm doing is actually what you're saying. I'm creating a space for everybody to be heard. I'm not, and see, the problem comes in when people hear what I'm talking about, and all of a sudden they run to thinking that because I'm adding on, I'm taking away. No, we're not subtracting here. I'm adding on. I'm saying let everything be what it is, but also, you know what I'm saying? Let's put this other space in there so somebody like Ice Spice and MC Lyte can be in the same room. So some conversations can start there. Somebody like Ice Spice can learn from MC Lyte. What do I do the last 30-something years in this? Well, here you go, young sister. And now MC Lyte is talking to her, or vice versa. MC Lyte say, man, listen, one of the things I love about artists like you is, what are y'all doing to get social media so crazy. I want to learn. And she'll say, oh man, this is what we do. Now a community is built because we're in the same room. But as long as these entities have a rap hip hop category, but can't even include any music that has that traditional sound that we love, that made hip hop what it was, because it's not part of the algorithm, or it's not popular, or whatever, then it doesn't even get in. So what I'm saying is, I'm not putting it in a box. I'm saying entity, let's stop making rap hip hop as a category a box. So let me expand it. Let me put another door on here. Like I said, the analogy I used earlier, I said, houses only had one door at one time. Then they put a back door. Now we got side doors. Some people even got a door on their roof. They're getting crazy with it because there's more ways to get in that room. And I'm just trying to expand and create room to include, not exclude. So just because I'm saying adult contemporary hip hop, you don't even have to bear the name. There's some artists out there that's straight up what we would call hip hop or consider hip hop, that don't want to be called hip hop. They like, no, man, I'm not hip hop. I'm just music. And guess what? That's fine. That's fine. It's okay. Okay, you're just music. But somebody over here might say, hey, man, I'm adult contemporary hip hop. Great. There's a room for you in this house. You get what I'm saying? Because rap hip hop is the room. It's the room. It's already the room. It's huge. Rap and hip hop. That's the culture. That's the music that goes with the culture. It's already there. But what the problem that I see, where I come in and try to create, working to create change, is what's being stuffed in that room. It's one thing being stuffed in that room, and it's been one thing stuffed in that room for over 10 years now. I'm saying let's open this thing up, man, because there's more room for just what's moving the algorithm, for just what's popular, for just what's these major record labels think they know as hip hop. Because I'm sure everybody on this call is a better ear, or potentially a better A&R than most of the people with these major labels, or the couple of major labels that's existing, and there's 1,000 sub labels under those. But look at that. I just made an example right there. It's only about 2 record labels now, but it's 1,000 sub labels. So I'm saying, let's step in and create a sub label so we're not stuck at this one record label. It should be more than one record label, because this sound, it does have an audience. The traditional hip hop, the traditional sound of hip hop still has a huge audience. And the perfect example is this record LL just made, this record Common and P Rock just made, the records, the career that Vic Mensa and Chance the Rapper has had, what Usher, I'm a part of the Kanye success. My background, my foundation is putting in the work to help him become the college dropout. So I was a part of this work. I'm not a person that's just talking, but I am a person who is a part of the culture, who's been very active for a lot of years, even as an artist. And then even the same guy we talking about, well, yeah, he brought my group back in 2021, and his words were, abstract mind state is necessary. Y'all gonna heal people and change lives. I thought he was bugging when he said that, but now I'm touring Europe with Slum Village. Like, come on, like, it's room for more than just the algorithm loving or popularly pushed sound. So I'm saying let's include, not exclude. So I'm definitely not speaking about a divide or drawing a line. I'm trying to open the line. I'm trying to push the line. I'm trying to take away the divides. I'm trying to get us out of the cubicle and just have us all in one room without division, without the borders and all of that kind of thing. That's what this is about. I'm waving a flag for. That I'm putting the work in. It's not about division.
I mean, no, I agree. I think this creates an extension versus a division. You know what I mean? Which is, I've been heavy on it because, like I said, and it's weird because we had the artist taRTokii on here before, and he was talking about people's attention spans. And it's like, I don't think it's necessarily all people's attention spans. I think it's maybe the younger people's attention spans, which is why some of the albums like LL and Common and other veteran artists, they don't appeal to them because either the songs are too long or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, there's the, I guess, the divide, if you will. And But I haven't thought about this at one time as a division of hip hop, and I don't understand why people are so adamant about that. Like, do you think it's an ageism thing? Like, do you think it's just like hip hop doesn't want to be called, and we're not even calling it old, we're calling it adult.
No, you touched on it. Yes, and I'll say this too: being a part of the culture and a person that branded himself, his own music, adult contemporary hip hop. Some about the word adult scares a lot of people, and they think adult means old or whatever. It took hip hop 50 years to become 21 years old. Hip hop is now finally grown. And that took 50 years just for it to become 21. Now hip hop can really, go into spaces that it been wanting to go in because it's been putting hip hop has put in its 10,000 hours, so to speak. You get what I'm saying? So now at 50 years old, hip hop 50 is really 21 years old. So I'm saying, don't be afraid to be sent to adult, because adult doesn't make you a old or anything like that. We're just saying this sound, the traditional sound, is mature. The traditional sound is the parent of everything else that's going on. So it's in a lot of other genres. Again, I got to say specifically, we're talking about award shows and radio formats. That's my thing. I'm with what I'm doing with ACH. Specifically in those areas, they have AC. They have a AC, attached to the other genres. You know what I'm saying? It'll be adult contemporary R&B or jazz or gospel or blah, blah, blah. But hip hop just gets this one thing that'll be rap / hip hop, and they got to stuff everybody in this little box, and it leaves no room for anything else. So again, I'm coming in with the expansion and, trying to unify people like yourself and all those who feel the same way. And we push this thing through and make it a real thing. And if an artist doesn't want to consider, here's my thing: if you don't want to be called adult contemporary hip hop, that's fine. But I bet you feel honored if you won an award in that category, whether you felt that way or not. And it is kind of a salute, and it does make you feel good because it was a community of peers that voted for you to be the receiver of that award, or for your music to be played at this radio station because it fell under a sound. It's not a forced thing. We're not saying, hey, you don't get a choice, artist, shut up, we put in your music. No, you don't have to say anything. We just let the sound dictate if you get recognized in that category. You get what I'm saying? It's not like you have to say anything or do anything. Just stay doing what you're doing, whatever that is. Just remain yourself and allow the music to fall in a space that won't get you boxed out in terms of recognition and awards, when it comes to your sound or your music,
Word. Holly Grove, you there?
Of course I'm here. I just kind of want to, touch on a couple of things. People are saying that, I do kind of feel like, the term old school hip hop, should be changed. Just like you said, it should be adult, contemporary hip hop. But we got to act like we're the only genre that does it. We don't. That's why they have oldie stations where they play nothing but 70s R&B music.
Yes.
That's why they have classic rock stations where they play rock and roll before the 90s.
Yes.
We're not the only genre that does that. So we got to stop acting like hip hop is the only genre to put ages and age limits on people. And we're not.
Come on now. Talk to them.
So when y'all say this, y'all have to understand that they do that for a period. There's some people that don't like to listen to the newer music. My daddy is 74 years old. He don't like listening to this new stuff. But if I put on some old Snoop from 92, 94,
rocking with you.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So people do have to understand that, I get it that the term old school, you know what I'm saying, hip hop is a little offensive. So why don't we start saying legacy acts? You know what I'm saying? I use that term a lot. I don't say older rapper. I say legacy acts. You know what I'm saying? When I was on the radio, especially when I worked at 93.7 The Beat, because I worked at 93.7 The Beat where they were testing out, it was called Throwbacks and 93.7 The Beat, home of throwbacks and today's hits or something like that. And they would play a lot of classic hip hop songs, you know what I'm saying? The old Snoops, you know what I'm saying? Big Daddy Kane, stuff like that. But then they also play, a lot of new stuff. So we have to go ahead and maybe start pushing the AC hip hop or legacy hip hop or something like that. And if we start doing it more, you know what I'm saying? We'll get to it. I'm 40, I'm not as old as some of you all on this call, but I'm right here in between, the legacy X and the new X. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it's a double-edged sword. I hear people say that, a lot of younger cats don't want to listen to him. Well, y'all gotta understand that, when Soulja Boy was making this run, and this is just like, I'm just giving y'all clear context so y'all can kind of understand why this newer generation feel the way they feel about this. Y'all got to remember that when Soulja Boy was doing his thing, just being a kid, 16 years old, not 19, not 20, 16, you had Ice-T talking about his music. So the other people that see Soulja Boy and look at how Soulja Boy's rise to fame was, damn near at that time a one of a kind. Nothing had happened like that before. And you got somebody like Ice-T who's considered a legend of the game, and others talking shit about him. How do y'all think the people that's coming up under him are gonna look at it? So that's why a lot of these younger cats be like, fuck the old heads, respectfully, you know what I'm saying? But that's how they act. Because again, you got all these other artists every time. Hey, how do you feel about Lil Uzi Vert? And y'all talking, not saying y'all, but the legacy acts are talking shit instead of embracing it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's why you got the divide. And I get it, because at one point in time you were the hottest thing on the block and you're not that anymore. So, we in our genre, hip hop, have to understand and realize that, hey, sometimes we got to go and sit in the back and let these young cats do their thing. And I don't think that a lot of these older legacy acts understand that. So that's kind of why they get labeled old and old school, because you're not in touch. You're being a hater. You being the get off my lawn as artists. You know what I'm saying? And how would y'all feel if James Brown did that to y'all? Because a lot of people use James Brown sample. What if James Brown said, nah, fuck that. I don't like this rap shit. Don't use my music for that. It'd be a lot of classic songs that we've gotten out of the genre that we wouldn't have because of them James Brown samples.
That's real. Yep. Yeah. And speaking a little bit to what you were saying, it's also, I just want to reiterate and bring home the point, and thank you for that, because that was amazing. But I will also say that it's, again, when I stress the sound over the age, because I want to make sure that is clear, that your father, who may not want to hear these new artists, won't get a chance to hear Rhapsody, won't get a chance to hear Vic Mensa, won't get a chance to hear Joey Badass, won't get a chance to hear Corday, who are the same age as the artist that's playing that he doesn't want to hear. But because the algorithm and the format is dictating that this right here is rap hip hop and nothing else, he never gets to hear some of the artists that's exactly the new artist that's making the sound that your father would love. And that's where I come in, trying to, again, specifically to be recognized and awarded at award shows and radio stations with the call letters ACH. This is where my goal is to expand. So, okay, if we're going to get Lil Uzi Vert, we also should be able to get Tierra Whack. If we're going to get Young Thug, we should also be able to get some Griselda. If we're going to get, I can just keep going with the compare and contrast, but you get the point. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, let's open this thing up. And that's where I stand strong and saying, I'm not excluding, I'm being inclusive. We got to get some of us in the same room so the community of hip hop can be what we know it is. It's just one thing. It's one. And in order to be one thing, it does have to be, or it would be great and necessary if we had some expansion, because there's not any room right now. That rap hip hop category, that room has gotten so small that it's not leaving any room for growth. So I'm coming in to fight for expansion. Or work, I should say, not even fight, but work for expansion. And now we can get some more people in that room. Now we have some choices. Okay, if that plays, we know the next song is something we like, so that's what this is about.
Word. Well, listen, Gree, appreciate you coming on.
Yeah.
Feel free to stay on. We gotta get into our next guest. Like I said, there's a little time conflict on my side, but
Yeah.
listen,
well, I'm in Australia, so
yeah.
It's like 7:45, and I've been out all night, but I wasn't gonna miss this, so that's why I told you, hey, I don't care what time it is for me, let's do it, So I not to be in and out, but I'm gonna definitely get off so I can so I can relax because it's not even it's not even 8 in the morning and I just got in about 4 this morning. So
word. Well, thank you, man, for tapping on. Like I said, I know you're moving around internationally. I mean,
yes.
shit, so they sound like this conversation, man. Like I said, it's so interesting how but we're gonna see how this plays out moving forward. Because for me, like I said, I agree. I think this creates an extension rather than a division. So, best to you, and like I said, more respect for the fact that you're putting your best foot forward and actually, making some action. Because, I've been a fan that like, someone needs to take a chance on FM and let there be a station aside from just Sirius FM that we get these great records from our
Exactly.
veterans.
There you go.
So,
yes.
you know what I mean? So, speaking of veteran artists and dope artists, Young Dro, you still there? You better walk away. I see. How you doing, man? Thank you for joining the call as well.
How you doing, brother?
We good, man. Any thoughts on this whole thing?
On what?
On the combo, were you able to catch in any of this or what?
Oh yeah. I mean, well, he had some great points, man. Some of those feelings that people have about young artists is they tend to put everybody in that bag. You know what I mean? And you might miss some great talent. I agree.
I mean, I look at even this record we're about to play with you and T.I. You know what I mean? It's not what they're playing in the mainstream today. You know what I'm saying? So, I know we even had a call with the other day about strategizing, whatever. I feel like even that record can fit into the lane if this situation where it had a place to be heard in FM in an adult contemporary hip hop type scenario. You know what I mean? How you feel about that?
I mean, at this particular record, I felt like I was trying to reach a certain kind of people. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't even really tripping on the streets and what the street would think or do I need validation from a gangster or you know what I mean? If I could reach you, then cool. But if I ain't trying to reach nobody that don't want to be reached at this point, when dropping this, I'm trying to touch bases with recovering addicts, people that made it through something. You feel what I'm saying? Rather that might be a gangster, it might be, but I don't got no set crowd that I was trying to figure out, is this gonna fit? I actually was thanking God literally because what I've been through. You know what I'm saying?
100%, man. And much respect. You're still here. I know you've had a definitely a trying life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
From a young age. You know what I mean? So much respect on just the mere fact that you're still here pushing, still doing your thing. Let's play this joint while we at it and it's fresh on the mind. Being that you gave us a little intro to the song. And again, thank you for joining the call, man. Young Joe in the building. Check this one out, y'all. Check this one out, y'all. Sir. Joe, fire. You know what I mean? One of them ghetto hymns, if you will. You know what I'm saying? I know you and T.I. have a long history together. Why now for the both of y'all?
Why now?
Yeah.
I've like, what you mean? Why now?
As far as this record goes, you know what I mean? Like, what spoke to you for this to drop now for you?
Well, me, I was actually the lyrics in the song are actually current, like with what I'm going through and what I've overcame, and I felt like using our platform to inform anybody that's struggling with addiction, anybody that because the fentanyl right now, man, is killing our brothers and sisters at an alarming rate. And for me to be there to survive it, I'll be remiss to not do something to push the envelope on recovery and what that looked like, and being able to be a voice, you know what I'm saying? Because we all dying from it, but who's speaking up about it? Who can school you on what it looked like to get help and get therapy and stuff like that. And what better way to thank God than out loud? You know what I mean?
For real. Shout out T.I. in the building as well. Thank you for joining the call, Tip. Great song right there, man. Great message. You know, beyond just Dro, I know you were saying kind of becoming a grandpa. You seeing things a little bit differently here today. Congratulations, by the way. I don't know if you're able to turn your mic on or not, but you know, song deep, you know what I mean? So, and I think especially like you said, in this time of fentanyl, whatever, that they talking about that shit is getting put like now in cigarettes and it's everywhere. You know what I mean? So like I said, just going back to the idea of like why now, man. So, but you know, much respect to you, Joe. Like I said, I know you've had a life to say the least.
Yeah.
You know, so what would be your what do you think would be the strategy to get this out there, man? Because I know you said this is really just one of them records you guys pen and is meant to touch who it's supposed to touch, but I feel like this needs to be heard, you know what I mean, probably by more people than they know, you know what I mean?
Say it again.
No, I'm just saying like what's the, I mean, do you guys have a goal as far as like pushing this to radio or doing anything with that?
I mean, yeah. I mean, you know, the thing, what we have been doing, like I've been doing a lot of things to push and support, you know, the record, you know what I mean? And I've actually performed it in church. You feel what I'm saying? And at Jackson Memorial, you know what I mean? And you know, if in things like this, I've been on the news called me one morning. I had to be at Channel 11. When I was at Channel 11, Channel 11 at like 7:30, 8 in the morning, you know, to get for. And I think I'm going back on the Portia Fox show to do another segment on it. So yeah, we want this. I want this on the airwaves. I want this to land in somebody because it's not. It makes sure that what I went through is not in vain. You know what I mean? It has, you know, it has a purpose. It has a meaning. It has substance. You know, and right now in today's music, I ain't knocking any of it. You feel me? But you know, it's rarely a message behind something. You feel what I'm saying? And this has a message that, you know, that can reach anybody, man. You not out here making it on your own, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to thank God for every move, waking up in the morning, being able to see your kids, you know what I mean? Because every situation can be worse. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%, man. If you got a little bit of time, we got some people want to ask some questions. Show some love if that's cool.
I'm good, man.
Tap in, Swerve.
Oh shoot! Real quick, I see T.I. down there. Shout out to T.I.
Yep. Shout out Tip. He was able to get the camera and the phone working.
All right. What's going
What's
on,
up, Swerve?
T.I., what's good?
How you doing? How you doing, King? What's happening? What's happening?
Joe, Tip, what's good? What's good? What's going on? Swerve. Apart from the background noise, I'm in the streets. I'm in New York. But I just want to say, great record. You know what I'm saying? If you need support for a couple of gospel station networks, I am with Fleet DJs. We do have Fleet down there in the ATL area. We all over, but they do have a gospel station network. Anything I could do to help push the record, push the positivity, more for it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all definitely should do a campaign, which you spoke on, Joe. You should definitely do a campaign around this. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, do some type of commercial with the song being played. I also hear this song being played and probably a couple of films in the future. You know what I'm saying? You know, back. So it definitely has. I say it definitely has legs. It has legs. It could go far. Not just from now. The song can be played another 5 years, 10 years from now. You know what I'm saying? Those are the type of records I know you already know. You and Tip know. Those are the type of records you want to do that outlive you. You don't want a today, tomorrow type record. That's cool. But shit, it's better to hear something that you can hear 10 years later, 20 years later, and still go. And I want to, salute you on that. Great record that y'all did, and keep it going, man. Keep doing it. Don't worry, like you said, you did it from the heart. You ain't doing it just to get airplay on any and every radio. So I feel that when you said that. So keep doing it. Keep it up.
Thank you, brother.
Love and respect.
Miss Queen B, Miss Queen B.
Pleasure.
Good evening. This is Queen out of Hartford, Connecticut. And I just want to salute you and Tip for this wonderful song. We got a lot of young kids, a lot of young and old folks are facing issues with drug use. And I am a DJ, and sometimes I will play some gospel music just to reach the young people. I don't care because they need to get it. And I think this is a song I played God Did, and this is a song I'll play too in the club at the end of the night when they going home. Because sometimes they make, that's the time where they making certain decisions. But I just want to salute God for the song right here. And we have a lot of we definitely have a lot of young people that are facing issues like this. I just have a question for you all. I see gratitude and resilience, shape your lives and careers. How do you stay grounded despite the challenges that you rap about?
Tip.
Man, my family, I have to say, and of course, my faith. I think that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? You got to believe in something bigger than yourself, to get you through the tough times. And you got to know that it's take more than just you to make you who you are when you up high. You know what I'm saying? So I think if you have that, you can get through anything, maintain some solidarity. Hey, I'm shooting a movie, y'all. I'm about to set up for my next show. I'm directing the movie. I got to get out of here. Joe, hold it down, man. And love and respect, man. Thank y'all.
Here we go, folks. Picture.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to piggyback off that and say the same thing. Like, what keeps me grounded is like I go to church every Sunday that I can go. If I'm not in church, like throughout the week, I just watch. I'm a member of the Potter's House, TD Jakes. You feel what I'm saying? If I'm not at Jackson Memorial, that's in Atlanta, I'm online looking at the Potter's House. I look at Bishop Noel Jones, or I'm looking at Bishop Bronner. You feel me? And it keep me grounded, and it also speaks to me to let me know that just because I do hip hop, you feel me, that shouldn't be a disconnect from God either. You know what I mean? So it keeps me well rounded and grounded.
Thank you so much for taking my question, and keep going. Keep reaching the kids. They need it. Like a public service announcement right here.
Thank you.
With God. All right.
Holly Grove.
DJ Holly Grove, Vice President of Core DJ. I just want to salute you and everything, you've done in your career. And then this is a good record because, it's something that we actually need. We need more positivity in hip hop. And then, with all the artists that we lost from drug addiction, seriously, especially with Rich Homie, you know what I'm saying? Just recently passed, like, we need more of this, and the youth need to get up on this. You know what I'm saying? So, like, whatever I can do to help press the record, I'm definitely gonna shoot it to Tony Neal, and then because you're a talented individual, bro. You know what I'm saying? Since forever, I did. You know? So keep doing your thing, bro. Much love to you and everything. Real time.
Thank you, man. I want to say this, man. Like, a lot of people, they're gonna come with these boxes, and they're gonna come with where they think things should go. This is a gospel record, but Tip doesn't consider it one. Tip just think this is a good record. You feel what I'm saying? I don't want to miss nobody that it can reach just saying that it's just for this genre. You feel me? Because it got two street cats on it. You feel what I'm saying? Two street cats with a perspective on God. You know what I'm saying? That just so happened to be blessed to be with a 13, 14, 15-time Grammy winner, Kirk Franklin, you know what I mean? In Sunday service. So it's if you feeling it, don't hold back on spinning it, man. You feel me? Don't put us in a box. Don't put God in a box. Because God be everywhere all the time. You feel me? He's omniscient, just like I said in the rap. Omniscient and omnipresent. That means he's everywhere all the time.
Yes, sir. Now, you know what? So, kind of playing devil's advocate, I was going to say, you know what I mean? Like, how do you respond to the folks that they say they're getting mixed messages from you from early young Joe to maybe where you're at today? You know what I mean?
every saint has a past and every sinner has a future.
There's your boy. That's good. That's the boy. There it is. David Lopez, what's happening, sir?
What's
If
good?
you
What's good, Joe? What's good, young Joe? I just want to congratulate you on, dealing with the substance abuse and just showing your vulnerable side to the community. I think a lot of men in hip hop, there's that machismo. You gotta, the fact that you overcame something with substance abuse and you're vulnerable enough to talk about it is an inspiration to many, and I think that our generation needs that. So thank you for creating that song. I do want to ask you, like, you have your faith, but is there anybody who contributed to your support system, like to allow you to overcome this bout? And also, I've heard rumblings about you possibly working on an EP with T.I. called Drip, Dro, and Tip. If you could speak on that as well. Peace. Thank
yeah.
you.
So that's I'm glad you asked that question. That's a good question. When I went into the rehab, when I checked myself into the rehab, I had a support system and team before I left. And it's imperative that before you leave, you should have that, because when you come back, that's the most important time. Now, it took a lot for me to go because I was in denial, and I thought that just because I had money and was able to dress and drive cars and fly out of town and do shows, that I was considered an addict or a junkie, or, you feel what I'm saying? But the fact was that I that's exactly what I was. I was just a functioning one. You feel what I'm saying? Most people function while killing themselves. Most people can't. You feel what I'm saying? So before I left, it was imperative that I knew I could come back to somebody that was going to hold me accountable. You know what I mean? So my manager, Dr. Sierra L, played a big part in my recovery, because it was she was telling me about my legacy and what I was about to let my legacy be if I kept going that way, which almost happened. You feel what I'm saying? Like that Rich Homie Coin story was my story. You feel what I'm saying? I just survived. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm here to tell you that the support system that you need to come home to, and to be honest with you, I got that from my manager, my role manager, and a couple of family members. A lot of my family members don't believe where I'm at right now. You feel me? They waiting for me to, you know what I'm saying? Oh, he gonna do it again. You feel what I'm saying? I can't harp on that, and I ain't tripping. You feel what I'm saying? Because some people, God didn't tell them what he told me. He told me what, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got the message. And as far as the Draw and Tip project coming out, man, we've been having this project in the works. Right now, we're doing the PSC album with drummer, because we just want to touch back on something that we created, which is the Gangsta Grills. You know what I'm saying? We the first ones to do a Gangsta Grill, and that within itself is legendary right now. And so we all came back together, and we wanted to just show brotherhood, fellowship, and letting the youth see that the guys that started is still around, and we ain't all out. We didn't go against each other. We're not trying to sabotage each other online, and you know what I'm saying? So that's what we're doing with the PSC. And me and Tip was just always supposed to do what we're about to do now. You feel me? And I felt like and one day I was like, Dro and Tip, you take the T out, drop the so-and-so is drip. Drop the O. You feel me? Drop my O and drop his T, that's drip.
Yeah, that's drippy. I like that, Joe. I just want to say a big super shout out to your support system and your faith for keeping you lifted in prayer, bro. All blessings to you.
Thank you, man. Love and respect.
Yeah, CC, what's happening, Z?
Yeah, no doubt. Shout out to Dro for sure for showing up and doing this. And I really like the song also. I actually played it today at Hot 97 at the music meeting to just show love. And it was one of two records I played. And I got strong head nod from one particular DJ, which sort of made everybody else pay attention. So even in New York, real vibes is just real vibes.
Yeah.
So good job on translating the record and also being open enough to tell your story, because a lot of people didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And with music, you gotta cut through all of that. Some people don't read. Some people just, they get it through a song. So I think that's awesome as well. And we were talking about the fact that there is so much going on out here in this world. So we do need this level of balance as well. So I had two questions. Well, one of them was about the promotion, right? So I seen you doing some videos and stuff. That's dope. But are you planning on I guess not just shooting a video, but actually, I really like the concept of what y'all did with Trap Museum. But I feel like young people would come out and party more, especially like Atlanta and parts of the South. They would go to a gospel, a younger but realer gospel event that more talks to them. Have you ever thought about doing that? And have you ever thought about, in the way you are, but being a preacher?
Yeah, you know what, man, my auntie, if she heard you say that, she'd be like, I told you. Like I've always thought, like when I was young, I used to act like a minister. I used to imitate Martin Luther King and sing in the choir and stuff like that. So where I'm at right now is not surprising, especially to my grandma. But my ministry on what happened to me, I intend to give that. I intend to make myself available for those appointments. I have did a Christian concert with 1K Few, because I do have another gospel record with 1K Few. It makes sense. It's called Trap Saying Hallelujah. And I kind of I flatlined that record, and it's a big record. Zaytoven is a very close friend of mine, and Zaytoven played the drums every Sunday in church. You know what I'm saying? And one day we went to we had a concert in Atlanta. 1K Few and brought me out, man, and we praised. Like, it was crazy how it was, because it sounds like some real hip hop music, and if you're not careful, you'll be bobbing your head praising God and won't even know it. You know what I'm saying? Thinking you doing some trap stuff. You know what I'm saying? You're like, what the world draw on this? You know what I'm saying? So I'm well open to it. And before I did the 1K Few record, I got a record with Dietrich Haddon. You know what I mean? So this right here was just like what God was showing me in levels. But Dietrich Haddon is a big name. You feel me? I started off doing that. We got a song called Run Out of Time together. And it was about, the gun violence and what was going on and how many people that we were losing to gun violence that were celebrities. So once I did that, I was like, God, what are you doing? Next thing you know, he sent me a young guy. 1K Few got to be like 20 something. So I went to the younger crowd, and then I tapped in right there. Then a couple months later, here come Sunday service and Kirk Franklin. You know what I'm saying? So it's getting bigger. I wouldn't deny anything that God requests of me. You know what I mean? I'm open for it.
Yeah, I just see sometimes it's a calling that we didn't see. And it just seems like it's natural. I saw somebody in the chat say your voice even sounds like a minister. And I'm not trying to force nobody to do anything, because I understand, but at the same time, some people are just called to something and it just works. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. I ain't trying to force nobody to do nothing. It's just a question. My second thing was just thoughts or words on the passing of Frankie Beverly today. I know he's a legacy artist. We all get touched by his music, but anything that you wanted to say on the passing of Frankie Beverly?
Yes. I think that's an icon in music that is for all people. You can't get a barbecue started without oh, dun, dun, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, and my mom, my aunties, my partner, even, you know, that's something sad, you know. And I hope to live to be like him, you know, with the music that I'm going to put out, as far as that, like my man was saying, that could be played 10, 20 years from now. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a goal. You know what I'm saying? That's a goal. We all do music nowadays, and it be for the times, you know. You know what I'm saying? And you can hope, you should hope and pray that you can get a Frankie Beverly Mays song out there that can sustain you till you 77 years old. You know what I'm saying? And that you can go perform. You know what I mean? A lot of us are in an uproar about the Super Bowl of Lil Wayne, but I bet you Frank Beverly could have held it down.
Facts, man. Yo, well, thank you, man, and keep doing your thing, bro. It's great. The level of balance, and you know, the energy feels good, man. I just say, yo, ride with this. Ride with
Yes.
it, brother.
Yes. I appreciate it.
Head Rush, you there?
I am here, sir. I had to go. I had to walk away for a second. Hold on, let me get this squared away. What's up? What's up with it, Joe? How you doing, my brother?
What's up? How you doing, man?
Chilling, man. First and foremost, thank you for giving us your time and your story. Okay. Salute to you for being able to, like you said, be vulnerable and tell everybody what's going on with you, and you know, be the example for the kids and the adults. We was having this conversation yesterday about the importance of the song and the fact that you chose this route. Now that you're in the hot seat, my brother, it's time. It's go time. Like, we got to get out here and do the Dro and Friends, or you know, Dro Presents. What was the title of your last concert you did? The inspirational concert. You want to do that? Like, get with the Reese Lachey's, the Lecrae, Miles Minnick, all of them, and jump on that and just start a whole wave, man. Go across the country, or you know, city to city if you can. Because here's the thing: as a fan of your music, since you know what I'm saying, Purple Label, riding around Poker Beans and all of that, you know, I've been a fan, right? So to hear this part of you is surprising to me, because it's like out of left field, you know what I mean? We used to young Dro that we used to, and then to hear that you have a story that you know, that you have a downfall, I mean, you came out of it, it's inspirational to us, you know, as well as the people that don't know you, that's getting to learn you now. So just being that example, my brother, is very heavy, and I feel like you stepped into your greatness, and it's time to just take off with it and run with it as best you can. You know, this song is definitely good for suicide prevention, depression, substance abuse. All of that stuff is tied up into one umbrella, you know. So for you to put on events, or even if you just coming in talking, you know, showing up just to have a seminar to talk to the younger generation and artists, and overall, that's gonna mean a lot, and that's gonna give what you're doing wheels to continue to keep moving forward, because this is awesome. Like, it's beyond awesome. So salute, pat yourself on the back for that, sobriety, all of that, because it means a lot to me as well. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their own issues. It is what, you know. So for you to be an example and show us that it can be done even on your level, you know what I'm saying, it gives other people in the position that's trying to come out the motivation to keep doing that. Like I said, that you giving people motivation to continue. You see what I'm saying? So one question I have about the song, I noticed you named it Thank God, right? So this isn't the first time that Tip jumped on a song that was like that. He actually has a song already called Thank God with 21 Savage. So what made you name your song Thank God as well?
I mean, because in prayer and what, you can never thank him enough. You feel what I'm saying? And I think we just went there without even thinking. You know what I mean? If because it's so much to be thankful for. You know what I mean? Like, when I get on my knees and I say my prayer, I give off 100 thank yous before I can even start saying, saying what I really need. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you can never thank him enough. You know what I mean?
That's the truth. They say if you had 10,000 tongues, you couldn't thank him enough, right?
You thank him enough.
Exactly. So that's good that you start off with the thank yous before you go into what you're asking for, because it shows that you got, you have that appreciation for what you didn't have, good and bad. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, salute to you on that, man. I definitely want to see you continue on this path. Working with Kirk Franklin, Dietrich Haddock. Dietrich Haddock, like you said, he's a very big deal. You know what I'm saying? So you working with some powerhouses that have big platforms, that have big voices. The folks in the churches listen to those folks. So I really want you to capitalize on it, and anything that we can do to help push the needle forward for you. I'm all ears, all hands on deck. Whatever the case is, man, let's get to it for real. Because
Thank you, brother. Love and respect.
yeah, because we don't get a lot of artists that have been in this game and that's been here, that's been through it and actually survived to tell us the story.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I'm saying?
You're right about that. That's what I preach. When I go around and I talk, I speak about. We have these challenges and these incredible testimonies about what we done been through, and then some of us just die with our story and we never get a chance to tell it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm betting that Rich Homie had something to say that he couldn't just get out, that he took drugs for, and that's exactly what I used to do. I'll be going through something and I'll be trying to get over this obstacle and get through this here and make it through this day, and sometimes I make it through, and you know what I mean. And then next thing you know, I get high one day and I die, and you never know what was wrong with me.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody never got a chance to voice what I was going through and what I wanted to make it through. You know what I mean? So by me surviving, and it's a responsibility at this point. I'm obligated. You know what I'm saying? Now I understand what God asking me. Like, I'm gonna get my glory out of it, but you got to be up here to tell it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So how do you deal with survivor's remorse?
Like if it because I mean, well, that goes back to how much I want to tote on my own, how much I'm gonna tote on myself, and what I'm gonna give to God. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things I feel sorry about, like, you know what I'm saying, why me type stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But when Rich Homie died, I was like, oh, I hated that that had to be an example, but it assured me that, you know what I mean, you have to step up. You know what I'm saying? You gotta step up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You gotta keep moving forward. You feel what I'm saying? Or it gonna be you. If I right now, if I lose strength and courage and go back to where I came from, then that means it was in vain. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't respect the fact that it was me. You know what I mean? So the remorse there would be like, oh, you felt bad for yourself, then you went and did yourself like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Ain't on that.
Yes, sir. Well, salute to you again, man. It's DJ Hair Rush. Midwest signing off, brother. We gonna lock in.
Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir. Peace.
C-Styles, your mic working?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Dro.
What up, gang?
My guy, what's going on, man?
I don't know. What's up with you?
Man, we go back since shoulder lean days, man. To walking past each other on the gas station on Campbellton Road and all that. You know what I'm saying? So, I know, you know what I'm saying? You always come through, and I appreciate your growth. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate your growth, what you're going through, and what you're going to progress through. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate the growth and everything that you went through, because that makes you a better person at the end of the day. You have to go through something in order to get somewhere.
Right.
So with that being said, I appreciate you for just still sticking in there, because you understand what longevity in this game means.
Yeah.
You understand what it means to be one of those guys that, like you just said, Frankie Beverly, still be around at 77 years old and still playing your records from 40 years ago. And still playing it like it just came out.
Right.
Like you know for a fact, you go up in the club and the DJ plays Shoulder Lean. How many motherfuckers you know in the club is gonna be sitting there singing the song word for word in 5-part harmony?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's all about growth and you understanding what it is. Hell, you're around T.I. He understands the whole logic of longevity. If you don't be around people that understand that longevity thing, man, it's hard to understand it. But if you're around people that are doing it, you know what I'm saying, you can understand it a little bit more. And then my question is, when you bring these joints to New Music Monday?
I'll be up there with it soon. My friend Najma just had a baby, man. She had just had her last day up there. I supposed to came yesterday, but I wasn't here. But I'll be in there next Monday if I have to be, if I'm here, you know what I'm saying? And as far as that longevity thing you was talking about, man, do you know, I remember I think I was Rocco's artist a long time ago, and you know, all rappers have this prayer, you know what I mean? Or anybody that runs into any kind of success, they have this prayer, you know, and this prayer consists of what you want out of whatever kind of venture that you're about to take on. So when I felt like, I was like, okay, God, I want to be this rapper, you know, I wanted to be an R&B singer, but we'll get back to that later. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like when I prayed to God, I asked him, I was like, I ain't really worried about no money or nothing. I you know, and you know I got the talent. I just ask you for longevity. And lo and behold, he granted me that, you know what I mean? However that looks, you know what I'm saying? And I'm still ticking the day, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate it.
Word. D-Rec, did you want to chime in?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, first of all, thank you, Digiwaxx and all the DJs for what you all are doing with this. This right here is inspiring. Young Dro, I heard the song and I was blown away by the song. I've been rocking with you for a long time, like everyone else. Radio is my background. Indianapolis, we mess with you hard in Indianapolis. So Big Worm and everybody out there had you at the club several times. But to see the change, man, and the growth is very inspiring. And I thank you for sharing your story and this music. You know, I've never dealt with any kind of medication or pill addiction or drug addiction. However, I've dealt with depression even in radio. And it took for me to see someone else going through it to gain strength. So when I hear your story, I kind of relate because I know what it's like being on the bottom. And then redemption, I totally understand that. When I hear this song, I think about how other people can be inspired, not knowing, wow, if somebody like Young Dro can go through that and bounce back, I can be okay. I can bounce back. This type of music can save lives. One of the things I noticed when again, coming from radio, and I was part of the problem too, there's not a balance when it comes to music. Now, I do understand a lot of times it's entertainment and all, but I also think there needs to be some kind of balance in the messaging when it comes to music. So I think this is great. What I would love to do, if I can get the permission of Digiwaxx as well, I like to do an interview in digital form and spread this out to the trade magazines from the radio side, because I know they would eat your life story up and put that out overnight once they understand what this is and how it could change, in my opinion, how it could change the platform when it comes to radio with this song and to hear it coming from you. So with the blessing, I love to do that. And thank you for blessing us with your story and sharing that, because I know you'll save lives with that.
Thank you, brother. Love and respect, man.
Yes, sir, man. So look, Dro, thank you so much for coming on, man. Like I said, as you said before, not a lot of messaging and a majority of the music that's coming out. And this definitely has a whole nother message in it. I think there's a lot of people that need to hear it. You mind me asking you, are you completely living a sober lifestyle today?
Yes, man. I'm 3 years clean. So when the song came out, I was on my 2 years about to run into my 3. So that's why I was 2 there. So yeah, I'm 3 years clean. And it's a whole journey, man. I couldn't feel much better than I feel right now. The things that are in front of me are doable. I'm showing up everywhere. I'm alive when I get there. I ain't just numb. You know what I mean? Trying to get out of my body or whatever, man. And I'm more attentive with my family, my kids, and the disconnect from the community has reconnected. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's where a lot of us artists is. We're great, and I just didn't want to be a great rapper anymore. You know what I'm saying? People like, oh, you can rap. You know what I'm saying? I wanted my legacy to read heroes. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to be a part of the community. I want to be a part of, steering and trying to help somebody, or at least I take one person. You feel what I'm saying? If I can just grab one, and because one person is very important to God and important to me too.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a lifestyle paying it forward, no doubt. You know what I mean? So, like I said, even you bringing up Rich Homie Quan, fam, is like, it's a blessing. You was able to get out what you had to get out, that you're still here. Now you can use your gift to spread the message to other people, because unfortunately we lost him at 34. You know what I'm saying? So, may he rest in peace, no doubt, man. And, anyway, we can all help. I know everybody here feeling the song. You got DJs from all around the country, bro. So you take this around to different areas. I'm sure everybody wants to help. I know you come to the West Coast, man. I'm in. So let me know whatever we can do. You know what I mean?
All right, man. I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate everybody, man, for giving it an ear. I appreciate y'all inviting me on, man. And man, hey, listen, man, let's push it forward. You feel what I'm saying? Whatever you could do, we're thankful for it. And whatever I could do, man, let me know.
All right, 100%, man. Appreciate you. Stay strong in that fight. You know what I'm saying? It's a daily battle. You know that.
All right, baby. Y'all be good.
All right, stay up, fam. Stale is back. Kind of similar to American Boy right there. That's actually the same producer on that joint. But dope joint, dope vibe. You know what I'm saying? Groovy baby for show. You know what I mean? Hope everybody's good. Hope everybody's feeling inspired from that combo right there with Young Dro. One of the lucky ones, if you will. You talk about that dude, I think he got shot. He was like 15 or something like that. You know what I mean? So had one of the bags on him at an early age, you know what I mean? Like so has lived a life. You know what I mean?
I like that Estelle record. I just got to tell you that. That's
no, 100%. Good to hear her back on the scene like that. How did the music meeting go? Be real though.
It went. Yo, let me tell you something.
It came and it went.
It was a scary sight to see radio that bare. Most desks empty, most offices empty. And it was also sort of shocking to see the 2 new owners of the station there working, which was sort of dope. So it's going through a transition. But the energy is, at least at this particular station, it's not what it used to be, and you can feel it, you can see it. So it is scary, man. It is a little scary because you're seeing radio disappear physically. Meeting was cool. Everybody, you still dealing with the ego shit, but who cares at the end of the day? I went up there, did it. But the energy up there was just not what I remember. And radio got to fix itself fast. it's like it's ticking. You can see that article we were talking about with Hot 97. You know, having the financial problems. That's happening, man. You can feel all of that. You could see all of that. So,
you have any morning show people in attendance?
Yes. Shout out
Okay.
to DJ. The DJ for the morning show was there.
Okay.
Juicy, shout out to him. He was there. DJ Enough, Mike Medium, and a couple others were definitely there. But the full staff wasn't there. In terms of, they got a big DJ networking crew.
Does New York radio have live bodies there 24/7, or are they tracking in people from other markets as well?
Mostly live bodies, except for Steve. But to be honest with you, Raymond, everybody's sort of tracking in from their house.
Yeah.
People aren't going into the studio like that. It's not. That's happening when I either have to or I'm interviewing somebody and we need to go into a place to do it live or whatever the case is. But it seems like everybody's just moved into their house, and sales offices, like the team's not that big, bro. You know, everything got shrunk down like massively. So, you know, I don't know if it's cut down or what, but we'll see what happens. We will see. That saying all that to say, I don't know where my records stand, but we'll see in a week or two exactly what it took. That's the other thing, you know, you're doing everything you can to get a first play, first listen, but nothing really happens right on the spot like that. So,
either way, big ups having the balls to play for them. You know what I mean? That's the first battle. You know what I'm saying?
I'm always with that. And big up everybody else who's up there. Shout out to Cherry 22. She was up there today.
Okay, nice.
Shout out to Jim Jones. He had his new record with Fat Man Scoop. And then you had the real Boston Richie and a couple other artists. So it was cool.
All right, good. Well, good luck with that, man. Like I said, I would hope T.I. and the team right there would have some love for you, some respect that you're trying to push it right there in the market, you know?
Man.
You know, it's interesting because even though, like, it was just so funny with that adult contemporary hip-hop conversation, why people get so heated about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it becomes an extension. And even we buy that Christian hip hop is a separate category, which has its own category at the Grammys. But we're against adult contemporary hip hop having its own category. So I don't understand the difference there. You know what I'm saying? That's already its own subdivision, if you will. This just becomes, like I said, another subdivision or division of hip hop. Yes, Christian hip hop has a category at the Grammys. Lecrae has won it multiple years. Quantum, just to let you know. So again,
that doesn't make it right.
No, but again, it's around the sound. And that's what I think people are getting lost in it. You know what I'm saying? It's around the sound, not an ageism, not a whatever. It's around a sound. You know what I mean? So, and then even kind of, and I wanted to tell you earlier, Quantum, when you brought up the idea of like the Kendrick Lamar Swimming Pools record, who's to say that a record can't be both? It's no different than like adult contemporary R&B, and I'll use Money Long as an example. Her song Made For Me went #1 on both charts. You know what I mean? Adult contemporary R&B and in the urban R&B. So some songs are going to cross, but again, you're not going to get Common and P-Rock played on iHeart. I was surprised because I think I saw Proclivities got added though. LL and Sweetie. So maybe that's the help of Sweetie, of course, maybe getting the look, but the song itself is dope, I think. But you know, but again, let's also give LL his credit because he's been making the appropriate primary rounds of promoting himself and promoting the album the way it's done.
Hey man, like I said, I understand y'all. I'm not scratching my head as to why y'all think like this. I'm not. I just don't think that in the end, this is going to help LL or Common or any of these guys that you would put in the AC. You know, I was thinking about it because I was on the call, man. So enough respect to old buddy, man, because I couldn't get in. But I was thinking about it, right? It's like basketball. If we go out there right now, our old asses, and try to play basketball against some young folks, they're going to run us off the damn court, right? That's what it is. It's a physicality thing. Those young guys know, oh, here go these old guys right here. We about to play them. They're not going to be scared to play us, even if we think that we can beat them, right? So in hip hop, what's going to be the difference between a young person that should be going up against an auditorium or a force? You're in the game. You're on the court. This is the competition. Trying to separate it like, well, this is the competition because they're younger. They should be able to step up.
But again, it's not an ageism thing, Quantum. That's the point. That's
the point I'm trying to make. This thing is going to turn into an ageism thing because that's why I kept asking, what is the cutoff point? Because at one point,
but I don't think there's not a cutoff point to the age. It's a cutoff point of the sound.
What I'm saying is it will become an age thing. That's why I kept asking what is going to be the barrier. That's why I kept bringing up Kendrick. I brought up swimming pools. Swimming pools, if you were in 2012, no one would be like, yo, swimming pools is that shit that like Big Daddy Kane used to do. They would be like, it's some new shit.
Okay.
Now, we might hear swimming pools.
But to your point right there, though, you wasn't getting LL in 2012. You wasn't getting Common in 2012.
We can't do that. We can't do that because we were getting KRS-One. We were getting KRS-One and Marley Marl. I have these albums. There were old school people making albums during that time.
And so, that's the point. But that's the point being, nobody fucking knew about them other than like yourself. So if we give a house for them, an FM adult ACH space for them, there's always a place for them.
Again, I understand.
Can I interject? All right, can I understand real quick? I feel. All right, Rock the Bells Radio to me is a perfect example of something that was created not to hurt or harm anybody, that plays pretty much everybody's hip hop. That's a certain dope hip hop. Rock the Bells to me is something that should be. I wish we had a station that could mirror that. Or even if Hot 97 had a freaking 2-hour brick that could even mirror that. My issue is that KRS-One comes out with a dope record, or Eric or Rakim drops something, or Light drops something. Yo, we talk about it here, but it's not getting to the next level because we always say, where are you gonna play this?
But CL, I understand what y'all are talking about when you're talking about where is it going to be exposed. What I'm saying is in the long run, it's going to be taken over like everything else. Again, I'm going to keep going back to the point I was trying to make with Kendrick Lamar and about what is the cutoff point. Because if someone says we want to hear in 2012 what KRS is doing, they're not trying to hear swimming pools. But 10 years later, hold on, but 10 years later, that's adult contemporary hip hop now, swimming pools. You see what I'm saying? Like what is going to there's a blurred line. We can sit up there and say it's the boom bap and it's the well, wait a minute. Well, what about when this person sounds like this, but their content might be positive? Are we putting that in adult contemporary? Like it's too many of these little things to try to figure out what is adult contemporary hip hop. Why I asked why is Soulja Boy not adult contemporary hip hop at this point? The shit came out in 07. These little niggas just damn near late 30s.
But you're putting age stamps on. Like Soulja Boy to me is never even he's nothing. He's no LL Cool J. He's like his sound is not that of what we're talking about when we talk about adult contemporary hip hop. You know what I mean? And his sound is it would never be in that lane. That has nothing to do when it came out. You know what I mean?
So Raymond. So let me ask you this. To the Soulja Boy fan, when they hit 38, which they're coming up on right now, and they say, I want to hear that shit that I grew up on. I'm an adult. You saying it don't sound like KRS and all of that, that's going to create a divide because they're going to be like, nah, this is what I grew up on. This was the dope shit. You see what I'm saying?
And I disagree. I mean, I disagree.
I agree with with you. I agree with you. But what I'm saying is, someone is going to say, hey, my shit is dope. Why is my shit not in the AC category? You see what I'm saying? Like, it becomes a subjective thing about the sound. We know what the sound could be, but when these people become 45 and older,
that's all it is, though, because it's the sound. That person that you just said who's 38, who this is what I came up with, they know that's not fucking Common. They know that's not fucking KRS. You know what I'm saying? Like, Soulja Boy will never reach an adult contemporary level. Soulja Boy still has a part of the machine with like the iHearts. His Soulja Boy swag still gets played today. You know what I mean? Like.
Let me ask you this:
we don't get KRS ones in radio today. You know what I mean?
What about Young Jeezy? Would Young Jeezy be considered adult contemporary hip hop?
I think
so. Yeah, hell yeah.
One type of song from his project to me. Because my thing is, I'm being real with you. So maybe one type. Because wait, I'll give you an example, right?
Okay.
We're talking about new songs, right? From veterans.
Not necessarily, because again, Soulja Boy. So it's not about songs, it's about sound. That's what y'all telling me.
But look at it. I'm saying, look at his body of music. I'm just saying, does it fit to you?
But it's not gonna be. It's not gonna be about me. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to understand. This is going to come down to everyone saying, "Oh, it's our turn. It's our generation. It's our generation to be AC."
This to me speaks exactly to you because of the records you play on your shows, and some of this is totally a place to go beyond, what we have now. We just have to have more places to be able to play the music. That's how I see about it.
See, what I'm saying is this: that music that you're talking about, yes, I love it. That fills my show up completely. If we're talking about the Grammys and we're talking about radio stations, it is not going to be about what Quantum Leap Radio thinks. It's going to be about what the world thinks. And if the world who grew up with, and I'm using Soulja Boy because I'm just going to use that as an example. If the world is getting older and they grew up on Soulja Boy and they're saying now we want some adult contemporary hip hop that we grew up on. Well, now the sound changes and the term changes because this is about AC, adult contemporary, the adults, what they grew up on, what they grew up listening to. The young folks, they listening to something else that might be, I don't even want to say worse than Soulja Boy, but it's not Soulja Boy. But now Soulja Boy's generation has grown up. They're in their early 40s. They're in their mid 40s. They're going to be saying, we want the AC. This is what the AC sounds like now. You see what I'm saying? The AC is going to continue to change as we get older. So why even put a stamp on it? We're talking about AC now because hip hop is a young genre. So the oldest shit that we have is LL and so forth.
Soulja Boy don't have no timeless music. His shit is not
timeless.
I
know, but Ray, I know, I agree with
you. You keep referencing him like, dog, like I said, his music, I can't imagine myself even being a 38, 40-year-old soldier, somebody who grew up with Soulja Boy, and I'm still in my car like, this is what we used to get down. I just that's hard for me to fucking.
Right, that's
hard for me
us.
to buy.
That's us though. There's a swath of kids who are now becoming 40 that would disagree with you. That's the point I'm trying to make. So let me ask y'all this: do y'all think Ja Rule? Do y'all think Ja Rule is AC? Do y'all think Ja Rule is AC?
Does he have new music?
Is Ja Rule AC?
No. He's throwback at this point. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. Even in this thing, this isn't about library music. This is about new music coming out, giving it a house to be heard. That's not just fucking Rock the Bells or Sirius XM. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what, like I said, if Soulja Boy came out with a joint tomorrow and it fucking sounded adult AC, put it in the adult AC. It's about a sound. It's not about an artist. It's not about how old they are. It's about a sound. And that's all dude kept saying as well. And this is what I keep trying to reference is because, like I said, using the artist we had on today who was talking about the people's short attention span. I don't have a short attention span if the fucking music's good. I only have a short attention span when the music's bad and I fucking get the fuck out of it. You know what I'm saying? But if a song is good, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, I'm locked in the whole time. And that's the difference in the sound.
But see, that's what I'm saying about this. Y'all, I hear what y'all are saying, but y'all, if I sit up here and say, man, the real hip hop is the shit that's on Quantum Leap Radio, a DJ Hollygrove could be like, why is that the real hip hop? David Lopez could be like, why is that the real hip hop?
I would very respectfully call your channel an adult contemporary hip hop channel.
But what I'm saying is, I understand that. A David Lopez, any of them could be like, no, why is that the real hip hop? Why is this not the real? Like, who is the one that's going to say a category like country, right? If we say country versus hip hop, we know what that category is. They're singing, they're playing band. We know what that is, right? So if it's hip hop already, and now we're trying to separate that and say, oh no, this is what adult sounds like. This is what the boom bap sounds like. This is what the real shit sounds like. And then somebody gonna be like, well, my shit ain't the real shit. This happens now in real time. People be, oh, my shit ain't the real shit. All them niggas talking about the real hip hop and all them underground backpack niggas, man, they don't be wanting to respect us, blah, blah, blah. You're gonna get the same sort of argument going forward. You're going to get the same thing. We're just putting another label on it. That's all we doing. You see what y'all see what I'm saying?
And I don't see nothing wrong with it. That's all. Because like going back to what dude was saying, this becomes an extension, not a division. It becomes an extension because that 25, 23 for whatever, I don't even want to put an age on it, who's making a younger sound as they mature and make different music, they're going to respect the spot that they have a spot for it later in their lifetime. That's my honest feeling right there. So David, go ahead, chime in, yo.
My thing is, Killer Mike won a Grammy like for best rap album, and that was explosive. That was amazing for the culture because he wasn't drill music or whatever you want to call it, like mainstream commercial music. It was amazing. It was an amazing moment. He would win both, right? Like, he would have won best adult contemporary album and best rap album. You would give him both categories, Raymond. Or what do y'all say to that?
Which one again?
Killer Mike, the album that he won best album for.
Shit, I'd probably give him both. Like I said, I don't think there's going to be a problem with an artist that is maybe blending into both. Like I said, I use Money Long as the reference. Money Long went #1 on urban radio and also went #1 in adult contemporary R&B. Some records are going to just make the cross like that.
But let me ask you this. That's a good point that David brought up though. Like, do y'all consider that Michael album a traditional hip hop sounding album?
Nope, I consider it adult contemporary.
So that sounds like traditional hip hop then.
Yep.
Okay.
And to answer DNA's like what is a younger sound? I mean, all the other shit we hearing right now. Ice Spice, Sexy Red, who else? The drill, like that's the younger sound.
Hip hop has how many subgenres of it right now?
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? We're cool that we put the tag on it for Christian hip hop because they're strictly talking about Christians. You know what I mean? Like that's why I don't understand the difference there. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy though. It's just crazy. Either way, if I got my hand in it, I'm gonna go vote for that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say this. It's also happening, right? So shout out to you. You started a station based on this genre, and I listened to part of it yesterday. It sounds great. I'm good with that. It's more of the music that I like to rock with, and just me personally. We're all individuals here. I'm not telling people what to like or whatever the case is, but I like the LL joint. I know we all spoke about Common and Pete's album and how happy we were that came. We was, when Greg Nice jumped on, when MC Light jumped on, when we get Kane on here or Rakim, I'm sure it's gonna be just as much love. Daylight, we got Talib Kweli coming on, I think next week or two, right? Where do these records live where I can just turn my dial? Because I'm gonna keep it real. I'm a different age. All of the radio, I still like to freaking dial. I like to surf dial sometimes. That's just part of who I am. I don't always want to have to program, and then finally playlist sometimes. I'm just not in that playlist culture like that to be searching and trying to find playlists. It's just who I am. Sometimes I go digging on my own. But nothing's ever in order. I have to go dig. Me and Quantum talked about these folders that I get or that he gets that you have to go and download a bunch of shit and dig. Thank you, DNA. I didn't know that you had this. This is why we have the platform so you can promote this. But the bottom line is it's not as easy. And sometimes I would like to hear a platform. Now, shout out to this for being birthed here, because I feel like the conversation, it did start up here, at least from what I know. I know my man said he was talking about it for 20 years. Shout out to him for that. But
no, I've heard it before. I've heard it before here.
Okay.
And then I'll say this:
I want to say within the last 10 years, right? The last year, we've been
just about, because when he came up here and that first time Abstract Mind State was on and he said it, I think he said like that was the first time he was. I was like, I've heard it before, but it's been talked about more because obviously everything's getting older. Like I said, I get it, man. I understand y'all's logic. I just don't feel that you're gonna get a good 5, maybe 10 years out of that, and then it's gonna be right back to where we are now, where everybody's like, oh well, if this is what it is, why this ain't it? It's just the same thing, man. I get the logic. I want these people to be exposed as much. Y'all know I do. I have a platform for that. I vow for it. If I didn't have this platform, I'd vow for it. But there's another way, man. And I think it does a disservice to L and all of them, because you competing. Hell, my group HISD, when we used to sit up there and rehearse and come up with songs, we competing with whoever was out. If Jay-Z was out, we don't give a damn. We got to make music that people gonna like. We on the same court. We not separating just because we low level and we on the same court. We need to do what he's doing, not what he's doing, but we need to level up to where people are listening and want to hear us. It ain't gonna be no separation.
All right. Well, let's play a record. Sleazy World Go. That is the song Olé Olé from his latest album, More Than a Shooter. 26 years old. That one not bad. Sounded like ACH, right?
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Hey man, I was gonna ask, what do y'all consider?
Shots
What do y'all
fired.
consider?
Shots fired.
It's just funny because the rest of his album is not like that. That was the only reason I played that one for you.
I mean,
but for real, do y'all think that sound like ACH? Did that sound like ACH to y'all?
Not really. Not at all.
Yeah,
But if Killer Mike was on it, would it be ACH? If Killer Mike was rapping on that, would it be ACH?
Maybe.
I don't think the artist has. I don't think that's what they shooting at, bro. Like, you act like y'all ain't got a oldies but goodies station in Texas. Like, every city and state in America got a goddamn old school channel. Like, why is it so different for hip hop? Like, why does it have to be different, bro?
Because we're not talking about age, we talking about a sound.
We are.
But still, but not what I'm saying. If you saw me, you probably didn't see it in the chat because you and Ray was debating. But if you go to these stations when you have some time and listen, you'll notice that Anthony Hamilton has new music, Rico Barrino has new music, Eric Benet has new music, and all of that is played on that station. They're not played on the regular fresh R&B hip hop stations that's all over the country. That's played on the adult contemporary stations, the 106.7s and 102.7s, all of them stations like that, where it's mostly older music being played. Like, for example,
not about age. That's what they told me. It's not about
I'm listening to this Tony Braxton. Old ass Tony Braxton. This is the station I'm talking about, bro. They playing old ass Tony Braxton, right? But just before Tony Braxton was on, Eric Benet new song was on. So that's why I'm like, why does it have to be so different when it comes to rap? You do it to R&B all the time.
For one, hip hop has not followed anyone else since its inception. That's one thing, but I'm not going to go down that road. But to stay on topic, they're saying that this is not about age, it's about a sound. So if you're hearing a bunch of older folks on this R&B thing, it's kind of going into what they initially thought I was talking about, which is that this is going to come down to age. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about who's going to determine what is AC. That's what I'm talking about. What generation is going to determine what is AC? That it's a subjective thing to do, because what's AC today is not going to be AC tomorrow.
But I think you answer your own question though, Quantum, because on your show, which you are very adamant about here all the time, I don't listen to that Drake shit. I don't listen to this. So they don't make it to your playlist. So you as yourself get to be your own gatekeeper for your show. And that's what's going to happen moving forward. It's no different than what I just put together with my channel. I have full 100% control of what I consider AC to be on my channel. If I feel like putting that Sleazy World Go, I'll fucking put it there. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's going to be in the hands of the holder. You know what I mean? Which again, we've gotten so far away from the gatekeeper, this da-da-da-da-da-da. But like I said, you answered your own question right there, Quantum. Who's ever in charge
Not
of that
necessarily,
station or
because if
whatever.
it's the Grammys, y'all said if it's the Grammys, who's the gatekeepers in?
Oh, okay. So let's try to use a different example.
That comes down to a voting thing.
I know. So who are going to be those people? It's everything comes down to gatekeeping, but then at that point, it doesn't become about a sound like y'all said. And that's what I've been saying. The AC thing is going to come down to whoever is the generation that's going to say this is AC. That's what it's, and so now it's like, well, what are we really doing here? It's not about a sound. It's just about putting another category on it. It's not about a sound. If it's not about age, then it's just about putting another category on hip hop then. And that's why I kept bringing up Soulja Boy. We don't like Soulja Boy. I get that. But someone does. There could be a whole voting Grammy act that says, hey, Soulja Boy's AC and he got some new shit. That shit could be garbage. But they like it.
No. It can't be God. My thing is this. If whoever has a new song and there's a new category, all I'm saying is that this is an opportunity to get better music because you have another category that's sort of catering towards that. That's what it is for me. In other words, if I'm a hip hop, if I like music, right, and I say, yo, I'm a hip hop fan, but I'm only getting fed these certain genres of hip hop. If I can never know that Quantum even has a station, or certain people don't even, that certain artists are dropping these songs, I'll never be able to hear them, and I'll never be able to maybe fall in love with that. This is providing another avenue for veteran artists that make a dope sound of music to be played on a major station or have its own station. I'm all for that. It's more discovery. You're giving artists more opportunity to reach new fans, or reach fans that already love them that didn't even know that they dropped new music all over again. I don't see any bad in that. I don't. Now, okay, now we're getting into Duncan will only get played if the marketing budget. I understand that, man. Hey, listen, man. Radio today, from going up to the station, it's almost like the radio station and events are hand in hand. Hot 97 does Summer Jam, now they do Winter Jam. Hot 97 does a litany of other events, concerts, shows, because that's how they supplement the income. You have to figure it out. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying when you got veteran artists, it's a little easy to do certain types of events at a cheaper price point where you can make more money and maybe sustain. That is the golden question. How is radio in general going to make enough money so they can secure budgets for staff and for everything else? That is the real issue right now. So, I'm saying that I don't know if Hot 97 is going to be there in a year.
That's wild. That's one of the ones too. So how do you feel about Power 105? Like, do you think they'll still be there?
Power 105 is part of a media conglomerate.
They ran by Radio 1, so yeah, they definitely gonna be there. They got the powerhouse.
They're running by even bigger. They're ran by Cliff Campbell, iHeart.
iHeart, that's what it is. They ran through iHeart. You're right. So they ain't never going nowhere as long as iHeart is in business.
Oh, Cuddy, my bad. What did they say?
Oh no, we're running back next week. It's all good.
Okay, they good. All right.
Spin the block.
Yeah, my bad on that, Cuddy. That was my bad. I got my fucking time zones mixed up.
Yeah, no, it's all good, bro. Yeah, they'll say they'll spin the block next week. So
okay.
Settle that then.
No worries.
Or
but I'm saying that it's different with iHeart because
that shit gonna start getting more automated for real.
It is already there. I had a
right.
Yeah.
Me and Big Vaughn, shout out to Big Vaughn from KMEL.
They won't even pay the board operators no more, huh? It's just letting the thing go.
Bruh.
Wait, what
they
you
have
mean?
minimal. They have minimal board ops now for
Yeah,
real.
right, because they're
Niggas
programming
get paid
everything.
bullshit like $20.
Yep.
For 4-hour clips.
But
Like,
Come on,
let me ask you. Let me
I
ask
just
you
need to run my voice because I told everyone.
AI. Because you can do it from home, exactly. You have board ops sitting there. The technology is taking away the jobs,
yeah.
man.
Especially since COVID hit and proved that you could run radio from the crib. It's like, all right, it's over.
Yeah, that's the fact though. But I know my wife's cousin Cameron Riddle, he does a show every Sunday on the 106.7 station I was just talking about, and he does it from his living room. Like he sits at the table and do his show.
I have the magic question for all of us. What are we all gonna do? Not just us, but I would just say us, yes, because we here, we're in real time. But yes, what the world is gonna do when damn near 80% of the world can't really make money like they used to. It's not going to be, because it's going to be ran by AI, robots everywhere. Everybody's job is in jeopardy. What?
Well,
that's a silent question right now.
I'm gonna be a full-time drummer, sir. Because one thing I know AI can't do is drum fills. It's proven.
Yo, that's gonna listen. If they
I'll build a DJ Head Rush drummer bot and learn all your improvisations and make money.
I think we're too early on. Like they're not going to replace us, and it is jobs out here, but you have to skill up. Like we had these conversations every day. The jobs are in cloud. The jobs are in project management. The clouds are in AI programming. The programs that you can use, like you can go get a subscription to Opus Clips and run your own agency. You can get a couple AIs and run your own agency and help run social media for people. You make money off of that. So it's just a new way of making money, and you got to tap into the computer. And those who don't want to, those who will not eat, they're gonna have a problem. Those are the only people that's gonna have a problem.
I agree with Century tonight.
Yeah, but then, like I said earlier too, when you got more of the people that's hungry, they're gonna go after the people that got it. Trust and believe. The rate of robberies in New York City alone, they show the Louis Vuitton store, Gucci stores, all is getting raided, ran up in, and there's a mob of them, like about 10.
Yeah, I seen the video. Video going up in the Louis Vuitton store.
Up in the broad daylight, 3 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, it don't matter. And the police is not around. They knocking, whoever the security guards or police, and they're knocking them, beating them down, and running in them stores, taking everything. And they doing it as a gang. That's like a culture now. That's like they doing that on Fordham Road in the Bronx, doing that in Brooklyn, in the Midtown Manhattan, 5th Avenue, and everywhere. And they got guns too. They carrying weapons.
Bro, what do you expect them to do though, bro? Like the cost of living in New York is way too flipping high, bro.
No, I'm not just saying.
They ain't
even no excuse. How about they don't have to stay there in that shit?
We'll have to burn it down and rebuild. That's what's going to end up happening in this country.
They're organizing it by social media too. They're doing this. They're making these plans to rob everybody on social media. So
the bottom line is that the cost of living has to come down, man, because it's gonna rip society apart.
What are the people supposed to do? What are they supposed to do? Y'all live out there. Y'all know y'all can't get.
Have you seen how much food is? It has gone in the last year and a half. It's up like 30%.
New York is giving all that money.
It's time to grow your own food by any means necessary. Like we've been talking about this shit for 3 or 4 years.
So where the hell is Swerve gonna start a garden in the Bronx?
Well, Swerve have to make a decision. Everybody is choosing to be in high ass New York? Choosing.
Well, I'm not saying
choosing. You can come back. You can leave there. Come back.
It's not just
New York ain't
not
going nowhere, but I would stay there and
York.
it's 3-4 times rent. And I don't work with people. I work with people in New York for testing because New York pays for high school equivalency testing for their residents. And when I say I talk to examinees, irregular people, everyday people working 3 jobs, trying to schedule in just to be able to move forward in their education so they can get a better job.
Right, but they
3
can't
jobs. I'm
skip.
to stay in the box, bro. I'm not
They
finna
can't,
do
they can't
I'm not
skip
finna do
work
that.
because it's a studio costs $1,400.
A studio costs way more than $1,400.
Bro, $1,400 here ain't nothing compared, bro.
Studio.
It was prices. Big City was already where Nap just got to be. Like Nap used to be, I get a 3-bedroom for $750 in a nice neighborhood. Now that is now $1,800 to maybe $2,200 depending on the neighborhood.
So what I'm saying is this, right? The system's not going to be able to sustain. It's going to implode. You have to have the backup. What Sensor Ray's saying, some of the things she's saying, some of the things other people are saying, but you see it coming. So the question is, are you going to make a change before it hits? Are you going to try to get ahead of this thing before it hits? Or are you just going to be a part of the madness? Because the banks are going to go down first. It's going to be such a fast ripple because people can't afford to pay banks back. Banks won't lend out. It's going to be a terrible ripple. Banks won't loan out. Businesses will get loans. They can't grow. They can't pay payrolls.
Right.
Go ahead.
And what's going to happen is the people that's looting in the Louis Vuitton stores going to stop going to Louis Vuitton. They're going to start shaking the other folks down. Like Swerve said, oh, you look like food.
That's what I'm
so
saying.
they're going to come eat.
Yeah, I'm going to come to your home to get something to eat. I'm going to come, like, if it get rough, yeah, everybody going to need to have weapons. It's going to be Washington. It's going to be crazy.
That sounds like you're already organizing.
No. That's ultimately what I'm saying. Like, listen,
That's where it's headed.
When I was speaking to y'all about the job situation, I've been out my job for about a year now. And since I've been in contact with people leaving that joint, they downscaling, and I'm like, yeah, I got a lot of different skills. So I can get money how many other ways. But like for the people that don't have it like that, and not only that, a lot of people, I'm just saying in my city, because I'm out here. So a lot of people out here are on meds. They on something, I don't know what it is. They all on something. So they're already walking around zombies. So they're already crazy. Walking these streets on everywhere, crazy. Like other people's like, yo, what's going on? It seems like it's a domino set, like something's in the air. I kid you not, word on everything. And it's like, I know it's not just here in New York, it's in other places too, but I'm not there to be a witness. Yeah.
It's
so
everywhere.
once people's like whatever they on, that'd be a domino effect. Then people are struggling for money, they're struggling for food. The next thing is whoever's a target is going to be a target. Anybody's liability, they is going to get got. If they got it, they look like, damn, they got an iPhone. Ooh, they got the new iPhone. Good, I know they got some kind of money, and that might not even be the case, but they're going to get them anyway. Innocent bystander. Like I be worried about my son all the time. He works. He does security. And he mostly go to work at night. I always tell him, yo, man, be careful. Look at when you on these trains and everything, because I know how they be. They be scheming and they look for people that's weak or that's not paying attention. Anybody's a victim. A woman, especially women, young women, if they not paying and they be all in their phones all the time, I be telling him, don't be in your phone while you in the streets like that and everything. Please just watch your surroundings and everything like that. And I pray for him, make sure he's good at all times. I know these people be on the street. For me, I'd be like, I wish a nigga would. You know what I mean? Because I'll go psycho, just go crazy, ballistic. They might, I ain't fucking with him. But anyway, it's crazy people everywhere. And I know everybody's a victim. You know what I'm saying? Some people might be carrying legally. Some people might be carrying illegally. But everybody, as this world goes on, a lot of jobs is being lost. A lot of people losing their homes. It's getting crowded. It ain't like the world is getting more empty. It's babies being born every day. But yeah, people die every day too. But it's getting more crowded, especially here in New York. People living on top of each other. and then like more people, the houses are getting full because they can't afford, a studio for $2,500 a month. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's crazy. And I know New York is high, LA is high, ATL is high,
Chicago is high.
Chicago, Houston is now the
Minnesota,
new.
Dallas.
You know what I'm saying?
Dallas.
So what you think? All these
Colorado,
Miami, they regentrified down there.
Florida. So what you think if all these different major cities? What you gonna think then? People gonna migrate to these smaller cities? It's because it's gonna become ridiculous.
Oh, bro, they was trying to do it in Chicago during COVID when they raided they had raided 87th, the whole mall, like the whole strip area over there, and they was trying to go to Michigan Road. That was the first time I had told my mom they had raised the bridge up, and she said they raised the bridge up. She said they ain't did that in years. You feel me? So Michigan Road, they don't play about not Michigan Road, Michigan Avenue. I'm sorry, it's the same street as
I know. I knew
Michigan Avenue. They don't play them. All the major stores, the Prada, everything. Chicago shut that shit down. You was not finna come run up and mob them stores. You not finna do it.
When they start having the army and like they did, before, when they start having the army involved in regular cities and marshals and everything, they're gonna be tanks instead of cars rolling through the street. It's gonna be tanks in the street and big machine guns and all that.
It happened during my mom's time. She said martial law. She said you keep on all this extra stuff, they could declare martial law, and you have to be in your house, come outside with no identification, come outside when you're not supposed to, and they can shoot you without no problem because you violated martial law.
Yeah, and that video I sent y'all. That video I sent y'all.
I thought we were talking about music genres and shit. What the hell?
No, we flipped that a long time ago. Now this Swerve's question, man. This Swerve's question.
One change directions. You and Swerve the one change directions of the conversation.
But no, I mean it's real. Gotta have. So I mean, us just as a small group here, we gotta enlighten each other. We gotta think. You know what I'm saying? We gotta be like CL said, ahead of the curve, ahead of everyone else. And to survive, because that's what this world's going to come down to.
But see, Swerve, but Swerve, that's why I say I agree with Censor, because at the end of the day, man, if you go back to 1964 and you jump ahead to 1974, you jump ahead to 1984, things drastically changed from what people were doing in terms of working. So everyone had to adjust. And that's why I say with Censor, she was saying, if all these things happen, Head Rush or who is Manny Faces, says they always talk about code. Everyone's gonna have to learn how to code. There's a whole generation, your kid, his kids, there's gonna be a different skill set that's gonna be there for them to survive. This is just what humans do. So I know it looks bleak, and it looks even more bleak because the world is louder, because we got internet and we can all communicate with each other 1,000 miles away. But this shit has happened before. We went from agricultural, that was the 9 to 5, everybody was in agriculture, to everybody was in the manufacturing business, to everybody was in a desk behind a computer, and so forth. This shit's just going to adjust. And whoever is about to be working, they got to know how to work and how to do whatever skill sets.
And you still got to know the old school stuff. You still is always good to know the old school stuff, because the technology can go down anytime. You need
it already
know
did.
the technology and know the
August. It did. We already witnessed that in August, and I was in Florida when that shit happened. And I didn't even know it happened.
What you talking about?
You talking about
when your phone went off?
The flights.
The flights. When Google was out.
Y'all was down there. I forgot about that.
It was a little taste. That was just
the whole Texas state.
So real quick,
that day they cut all our phones off and didn't tell us. That was the little taste.
So
everybody woke up and couldn't log on to Facebook.
So Censor Ray, real quick. So what are some of the things that you think when you say you need to know, like the old ways? What are like the top 3 or 4 things you think would fall under that everybody should know?
Well, know how to get around, know your directions, know where you live, because you may not have Google Maps. It's some of the things, and I say that, like, I knew when I moved to Milwaukee, it was a time before I got Google Maps. I actually had to look at the map, print the map. We had to get the map directions. We had internet. We had to print it out and actually drive and figure out how many 1.8 miles was when we went down the street. You know what I'm saying? So I still remember that. And I love the convenience of Google Maps. But I know if that went down, and it happened to me once. I had left my phone here and had to go to Milwaukee to do a studio session, and I only had my laptop, and I was cool. I still had access to my phone numbers because everything was synced in my Google account on my computer, so I was able to access the people I needed to call. I still had access to a phone, but I was able to do it without it. When you think you wouldn't, I was able to do it. The question is, yeah, we using all these conveniences, but what can you survive without those conveniences? You weren't born with those cars. You weren't born with those cars. If you couldn't get around and we couldn't drive a car, do you know how to walk? Do you know the bus system? Do you know the train system? Do you know how to get around? Because those are the things that matter. You know,
can you do math without your phone?
Yeah. You gotta brush out the paper and the pen. You know, and carry the one and carry the two. You know what I'm saying? I still do that.
Can you survive off one day a meal? Can you?
Let me say something here. Technology is just the walls to the building. The foundation is the basics. What she's talking about, Sister Ray's talking about the basics. So before you can get to the technology, you still got to have the basics to build as a foundation. You got to have a strong foundation, and the strong foundation comes from knowing the basics, how to survive if the lights go out. I mean, do you know what temperature of food is, for how long you can eat it before it spoils, and all this kind of stuff? What kind of foods are non-perishable and what's not perishable? You know, very basic stuff that you can't get from a plastic bag or some packaged shit. Or do you have access to this kind of stuff?
Well, shit, even know how to hunt. How many people know how to hunt if they need to kill to eat?
To be fair,
if you wanted them that's not a vegetarian, you can't just have cows and goats
you
and
go
all
killing
this in your
everything and eating
backyard.
it, bro. You'll be dead before you know it. Telling you got to be careful what you hunt. And I'm telling you, because the animals carry diseases too. Just saying.
That's true.
Oh yeah,
too.
I know all that. But as the world turns, certain things come back around.
True.
We never thought the world get shut down for some months.
Right. Well, see, here's another thing, another basic essential in knowing just how to get around. If a lot of y'all don't know, East and West, what do they call interstates? They got odd numbers. Even numbers. North and South is odd numbers. So, for example, US 31, the US State Road 31, that runs north and south. So if you look at US 40, that runs east and west. That's little stuff, little basic shit. Like if you don't know little stuff like that, you might want to stay off main roads. If the world does come to a situation like this, the smallest things in the world to know. And again, like you said, if you don't know how to hunt, I mean, you better learn how to garden.
Let's go into let's talk about this food thing. So if you have a place where you can go get food, like everybody's talking about food is high, but I'm sure I got an opportunity to do Instacart quite a lot during COVID. And I found out a lot about there's different grocery stores. You can get sales. So if you shop around and it's coupons, crazy, all that. And if you got 2 deep freezers, this is what my mom used to do. When she went grocery shopping, We had 2 of the deep freezers full. You go to the meat market, because the meat market still exists. And you can go to the farm, go straight to the farm, because I ride through the farms and they have actual cows. They'll cut it. You can buy the cow, they'll cut it up for you, and they'll freeze it and store it for you if you don't have a storage place. So that's one way you can get, if you need food, that's one way of getting it. Canned goods, you can go get vegetables way cheaper straight from the farmers. And it's not far from the city. You know what I'm saying? Even though you're in the city, I'm sure there's a farm in every state somewhere.
Time out. That's a major key. Last weekend, I went to a local farm over here in Greenburgh in Westchester, and I got 5. I just picked up a bunch of bananas, yo. And I'm thinking it's gonna be like $3 or something like that. It was 91 cents. Them local farms is the hack, yo.
Yeah, of course.
I don't
Because you got to think they don't have to pay no big box store to put their stuff on the shelf. It's coming straight from farm to table.
Yeah, bro.
They got the signs on the side of the road. Pure honey here. Buy wood here. They selling their own stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's good. Shit, I work with 2 chicken farmers, by the way. Like they ain't even get eggs for free, man. So I mean,
that's excellent.
that's why I was like, where like for people like Swerve that's in the inner city that don't have access to those spots to grow in. You know what I'm saying? Got to think, Westchester, New York, from where Swerve is, what's that? 45 minutes, an hour and a half drive. You got to
Swerve is about.
That's where the village comes in at. You find one of your homeboys or find one of your partners that you can connect with that's on what you own, trying to get cheaper food, and y'all pool together and y'all go drive to Westchester maybe once a month and y'all go get all y'all can get. So that's
with
how
that being said, CL, you got to grow a garden in your backyard for all the honeys now.
I've been doing that for years, bro. Years.
All right, well tell
you
them
know
to
what?
start
If I'm
joining
gonna put some. Is everybody on our what chat is everybody on? That way I could just everybody.
all of them.
All right, I'll put some pictures of my joint. I don't play around. I'm all for it.
Because I'm definitely down to build that garden box.
Not only that, let me tell you, when I went down to Invest Fest, I always get something out of it, man. When I went to Invest Fest, I was talking to a brother who owns a citrus farm in Florida. And he told me that anybody that has a garden in there, not just a garden, but you're allowed to use a certain amount of your property to grow, which you can incorporate and get massive tax breaks from the state and from federal.
Yeah, that's the farm credit that you get.
Yeah, it's
so
an agricultural
regular
credit.
houses with people with subdivisions. They got chickens in the backyard, bro.
Yeah.
And they use it for agriculture. So you use it for agriculture, then you get the credit. So you growing your own eggs. Some got their own horses, chicken hens, all of that stuff. But they get a tax write-up.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, my HOA don't allow that kind of stuff, though.
Well, it don't matter. You gotta figure it out. Here's the thing: you don't gotta. Remember, people
Mailbox
think
is too high.
Somebody said they have vertical farming now, man. There are different ways to do this.
Or you can buy some buy your own, have some land, and get your own greenhouse, set it up, and grow your stuff. It don't necessarily have to be at your house. You can get a piece of land and make sure it's something you can use
security.
Yeah, and put something around it, because they label all of that stuff out there.
This is true. Well, look, this got into a really good conversation, man. I guess we need to pick it up next week, because this was a good one. It's a lot to think about, and I appreciate Sora for bringing it up, because really, we just want to make sure everybody's okay, because things change so quickly, and by the time you snap your fingers, it's a whole nother world out here. So
they're already building a whole new world.
Y'all just gotta activate yourself, man. Y'all gotta, if you whatever. I know it can be scary, but I guess for me, is why I get through it, because I got it when I was very intentional, very early on in my youth, about what industry I was getting into. Because IT, no matter what, how whoever's in office, it don't matter. I always can get a job if I want to go get a job. And I set myself up that way. So, you just got to skill up, but find something that's for you. You don't have to necessarily go with the trend. You do your research, you find something that something that you'll be passionate about, but also can make some money in, and do it. You know, a lot of people getting into trucking. You know, I'm in the trucking sector, so it's money there.
Well, that being said, it's been a great day. Shout out to Young Dro, definitely inspirational. Shout out to the other artist that was on as well, taRTokii, and even shout out to the brother that tapped in, speaking on the new genre. Sparked a good debate because there's a lot of feelings, and there's not a foolproof way, but I just want to see other artists that we grew up to, be able to have their music exposed just a little bit more. And shout out to LL Cool J. I think he was a shining example of what it looks like to not give up, you know, despite your age and what people may say about you. So that's real talk. All right, till next week. Peace and love, everybody.